has just given the Beach the lead back. It's 2-1.
Well, if you're just joining us on ESPN2, disregard anything I said about this ballpark being big, because we've already seen 2 home runs, and Brock Lundquist just made it look small. Out into the Jared Weaver bullpen in right field. This after a first pitch curveball that he hit about 380 feet foul. This one he keeps fair. Home run number 4 of the year gives the Beach the lead back.
David Banuelos up there now for Long Beach State, as this place has really caught fire again.
What is going on? I mean, bang, bang, 2 home runs. One the opposite way, and Lundquist just leaned on one.
Spank to the shortstop, David Hamilton, a terrific infielder. Throws out Banuelos for the first out of the Long Beach second inning. He's Kyle Peterson. I'm Clay Matvick. This is day 2 of the Long Beach Regional. And these 2 teams winning last night. Long Beach State 6-0 over San Diego State. Texas 3-2 over UCLA. And the winner of this one will be in the driver's seat tomorrow. The loser has to turn around, play again in an elimination game against San Diego State tomorrow afternoon. Garrett Nelson, the center fielder, hits. And the Boswell home run in the top of the inning was, I don't know, no more than 15 feet off the ground at any one time. It was a scorcher out of here, and that might have been to its benefit.
Yeah.
And, you know, you look at the home run that Lundquist just hit. It was a little bit higher, a little more elevated, but he also kept it down out of the jet stream, so to speak. Maybe that's the key here tonight.
It could be, or maybe the key is if you just scald one, it's still going to get out, and that's what happened both times. Boswell stayed on a fastball out away from him. Lundquist spun on one that he could pull. Like the start of this one.
Here's the 1-1 to Garrett Nelson. Lifted into foul ground, left side, long run for the fielders, and they're not going to get anywhere close. It's out of play. This is a fun ballpark to watch a game, and for the second straight night, well attended. I'm going to guess it's going to be close to 3,000 again here tonight. There were fans even out in the parking lot.
They're back.
They were peering over the wall to get a piece of last night's game. The Dirtbags haven't hosted a regional since 2008, and the fan base is appreciative.
I want to see him start climbing the trees. That's when I know we're really starting to jam them in.
Morgan Cooper's pitch is up and out. You know, this isn't a typical West Coast setting, KP. I mean, you pitched out here in your college career at Stanford. This has a little bit different feel than what you're used to.
It's a little rowdier.
Up and down the coast.
A little rowdier, which I like. I mean, they packed them in last night. It got rowdy, and you know, give Long Beach State credit too, because they've given them a reason to be rowdy early in each of the first 2 ball games. 3 runs yesterday got the crowd right into it. 1 in the first, 1 in the second. You get the crowd right back into it. It's the best way to get everybody on their feet and loud.
There's a beer garden working hard. Long Beach State has never felt as confident as they do right now, but Morgan Cooper strikes out Nelson.
Hey, now his stuff is really good tonight. Cooper's stuff is really good. 4-pitch guy has shown you a little bit of everything so far. So here's where we're at. This is the 1-0 game. Both Long Beach State, Texas won their opener. Long Beach State cruised 6-0. Texas 3-2 over the Bruins, and then San Diego State eliminated UCLA earlier today. San Diego State will play the loser of this game in the early game tomorrow. Winner of that one will play the winner and have to beat them twice.
Luke Rasmussen hits now for the Beach. We're going to say goodbye to the folks watching on ESPN News, and we're going to stay tight right here on ESPN2 for the rest of this ballgame. Rasmussen, the DH, Big guy, 6'3", 220. The junior, 1 for 3 with a run batted in last night's ball game, hitting for the first time in this contest. And that is scalded as well. But Austin Todd makes the catch. So the solo home run for Brock Lundquist gives the Dirtbags the lead back. We've seen a couple of home runs in this ball game. Long Beach State has the lead 2-1 as we go to the top of the third inning. And he's Kyle Peterson. I'm Clay Matvick. Welcome back to the beach. Blair Field, the home of the Long Beach State Dirtbags. Yes, that's the official nickname.
That just sounds good.
Our first game here today, 3-2 the final. San Diego State held on to beat UCLA in 13 innings. It was a 5-hour, 7-minute contest.
C.J. Saylor, closer. Yeah, 4 2/3 inning. Absolute hero today for what C.J. Saylor did. Kept this inning, or kept this season going for San Diego State. They live to fight another day. They'll play the loser of this one, and this one looks like it's going to be really good.
What do you think is going to be the difference as this game plays out?
You know, I don't know yet, because for Long Beach State, to me, offensively, they're taking better swings than I would think they would against the stuff that I've seen from Morgan Cooper. I think one of the biggest questions is Darren McCacken, how far can he go in this one? Gave him an extra day. Here towards the end of the season, he's thrown over 100 innings. So just to make sure that there's an extra day of rest, give that arm a little bit more life. He's given up just 1 hit today, but that 1 hit was a solo home run off the bat of Brett Boswell in the second inning.
He's got a 1-1 count to the 9-hole hitter David Hamilton. It'll be Patrick Mathis and Zane Gerwitz also to hit. David Hamilton named to the All Big 12 freshman team this year for Texas, and started all but 1 game at shortstop, and he has been terrific defensively. Now the offense will come, but they really like this rookie out of San Marcos. Strike to the outside corner.
Interesting. When you talk to the Texas coaching staff about Hamilton, they said, we got out of fall practice. We still weren't really sure who our shortstop was going to be. And then the calendar turned. And then Hamilton got a little bit different speed defensively, and he hasn't left. And he has solidified this defense and made it a very, very different defensive team than they were last year.
Bounding ball to the second baseman, Duran. Hamilton is out, number 1. Texas finished 6th in what turned out to be a pretty loaded Big 12 this year. Their record in conference play, KP, 11-12.
Yep.
The only team in the tournament with a losing conference record. Yet they're the 2 seed, and they were fairly close to maybe hosting and in some of those conversations.
Yeah, I think if they were a game above 500 and had gone through and won the Big 12 tournament, I think Texas would have hosted. It was that close. I mean, maybe 2 games over the course of the season that made that big of a difference. But if you talk to people that have played them, even those that have beat them, this is a club that can play with anybody in the country, especially when they have Kingham or Cooper on the mound.
Mathis, a line out to right field. He's 0 for 1. The 0-1 pitch to him. He flicks it down the line in foul ground.
That's
long run, and Romano gave it a great chase, but it's a foul ball.
That's a pop-up slide clinic right there. Just shy of the fence, popped right up, hardly made contact.
Texas finished with a 16 RPI at the end of the regular season. That's how close it was. You know, the league only has 9 teams, and 7 got into the tournament as Oklahoma State kind of crashed the party there at the end. But the Big 12 really had a good year. It's 1-2 here to Patrick Mathis. It was his walk in the 8th inning that proved to be the difference in the game last night, the win over UCLA, because he scored the game-winning run. 1 out, 1-2 to the first baseman. Jackson will win the race to the bag. 2 up, 2 down. For more coverage of the NCAA baseball regionals, super regionals, and the College World Series, go to ncaa.com. They have interactive brackets and more information. Again, ncaa.com. 2-1 Long Beach State. 2 outs here in the top of the third. McCacken has given up the home run, and that's the only hit he has given up so far. And now here's Zane Gurwitz. 1 for 4 in last night's ball game. 0 for 1 in this one.
Another action across the country. NC State beats Kentucky today. So NC State 2-0. Kentucky will play Indiana tomorrow. The winner will have to beat NC State twice to advance to a super.
Indiana put up 11 runs today. That's a good team out of the Big Ten. Now the Big Ten, you know, been impressive so far.
Yeah.
You know, with Iowa,
Nebraska
what they've
wasn't.
done.
Nebraska played poor.
Bit of a disappointment.
They went out and got bounced by Yale and Holy Cross. So the Huskers will head back to Lincoln.
But the number of teams that the league
5.
got in, and
Iowa wins the opener, beats a 4 seed. How about this inning?
Ground ball. Romano throws out Gurwitz, and McCacken with a 1-2-3 third after giving up the run in the second. It's 2-1 Long Beach.
Come on in.
The NCAA Baseball Regionals is presented by the Quicksilver Card from Capital One. Earn unlimited 1.5% cash back every purchase everywhere. And in part by Schick Hydro, designed like no other razor. And PNC Home Insight, helping you understand how much home you can afford.
Our crew is putting in for hazard pay, in case you're wondering, for having been sent to Long Beach.
This is just,
you know, with
worst.
vistas like that. Bottom of the third we go. 2-1 Dirtbags. Brock Lundquist with a solo shot that started the second is the difference in this ball game. It'll be Huffman, Duran, and Jackson. 9-1-2 for Long Beach. 38-17 on the year, also a tie. And then they went 20-4 in the Big West. They won the Big West for the first time in 9 years, their first outright title since 2003. First at bat for Huffman. And he was honorable mention all conference this year at shortstop. You know, they had a pretty good shortstop here last year, Garrett Hampson. He was
third round
drafted.
Pick.
Yeah.
They've had a few of those around here.
They usually play pretty good defense. To the third baseman, charging Reynolds. Gets Huffman by a step and a half. Morgan Cooper, since giving up the home run, has set down 4 in a row, and he'll deal with the top of the order for the second time as Duran comes up 0 for 1. Morgan Cooper, first Longhorn with over 100 strikeouts since Taylor Youngman and Cole Green had got over the century mark in 2011.
First pitch changeup. Cooper will show you 4 pitches. There's a lot of guys that say, a lot of coaches say so and so's a 4-pitch guy, but then you might see 2, maybe 3 during the course of the game. You'll see all 4 from Cooper today. Fastball, curveball, slider, changeup. We've seen them all already.
Opposite field, right at Austin Todd. 2 down. We should remind folks what the Texas starter did last night, KP. Nolan Kingman got the call to start game 1 of the national tournament, and he went into the 8th inning.
Yeah, for King, I mean, you go 7 2/3 against a UCLA team, and UCLA We got to remind people they led the Pac-12 in home runs this year, so it's an offense that could do some damage. They didn't do a whole lot of damage against Kingham last night. He was just that good. Pounded the strike zone the whole night, just like Cooper has so far tonight.
The strike is into Daniel Jackson. Jackson doubled and scored in the first. By the way, now for Cooper, 8 first pitch strikes.
A lot of places you can go with an 0-2 count in this arsenal. Elevate the fastball. Fastball off the plate. Or both.
That one right off the mask of Cantu.
He wore that one squarely.
He's got the nail polish too, I notice.
Yeah.
You and I were talking about that in our first game. It helps the pitcher see the signs that he's flashing, and I certainly can see that at night, you know, where you have more glare from the
makes it a
overhead
little
light.
bit easier.
Back up the middle, base hit. Jackson 2 for 2. 2-out base runner for Long Beach here in the third inning.
The offensive approach for Long Beach through the first 3 innings has been impeccable, because these are not bad pitches. I mean, this is a slider that it's not perfect, but it's on the outside third of the plate. It's a little bit more elevated than you want it, but there's a lot of times you see guys roll over this pitch. People still choke up on the bat. That's a wonderful thing. Daniel Jackson chokes up, waits for it to get to him, drives it right back up the middle, and Long Beach State has another base runner.
5 of the 6 runs scored by Long Beach yesterday came with 2 outs. Tankas bats with 2 outs and a man on. There's the throw. It's high. It goes into center field. And that is the second time tonight that Cantu has had a throw that has sailed on him.
They do little things that turn into big things. They being Long Beach State. Fake bunt the whole way, but you're trying to keep Cantu back just a little bit longer. We saw Michael Cantu throw before the inning. And a lot of times when he throws to second base, he stands up. And as he stands up, it brings everything up with him, and that's when the ball sails on him right there, instead of staying through the crouch a little bit lower as he gets through the throw. He turned around, wanted an interference call. It was not an interference call. It's exactly what Tankas is supposed to do. Hold the catcher back with the bunt, pull it back at the last minute, and that little amount of time might give you enough to steal the bag.
8th stolen base for Jackson. He's in scoring position for Tankas, who has 35 driven in. But he's behind in the count, 0-2. Tankas redshirted last year after getting hit on the hand. He has stayed healthy here as a redshirt junior, and he has blossomed. One of the team leaders. Cooper's pitch. Wow, that should have been a strike. I thought it was.
Well, if it missed, it missed down, and it didn't miss much. I mean, this is exactly where he wanted to throw. Watch the glove of Cantu. He hit it. He didn't even have to pull it back up. I think that's a strike.
Right across the knees. So Tankas gets a reprieve. 1-2 with 2 outs here in the third inning.
Stay there.
You
Double
go
up.
right back there.
Double up.
Jackson at second. Here's the pitch. And that spins back.
Stay
off
there
the
again.
net. Cooper's last start was the Big 12 title game. He allowed 1 run over 3 innings, struck out 5 against Oklahoma State. Long Beach State has gotten to him for a couple here in the first 2+ innings. Looking for more. 1-2 to Tankus. Struck him out. And that ends the threat for Long Beach in the 3rd inning. But the Dirtbags lead it 2-1. We're going to talk to Texas head coach David Pierce on the backside of this break.
Hey, Curly here.
Back here in Long Beach, 2-1. Dirtbags leading the Longhorns, and the Texas bench boss joins us now. David Pierce, first-year head coach. Coach, your lineup is going through for the 2nd time against Darren McCacken. What's been the approach tonight for your hitters?
Well, we've got to really get to the middle of the field. Right-handed hitters got to think line drives off the second baseman's forehead, left-handers off the shortstop, because you know, he does a good job of changing speeds. He uses both sides of the plate, but he's really just, he nibbles, and you just got to be disciplined and patient.
David, that 1st and 3rd play in the 1st inning, it looked like the middle didn't break. Was there miscommunication somewhere on that?
We got to get more help from the bench. They did a great job on the delay, and you know, yeah, you're right. They didn't get there.
All right, Coach. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, guys.
6th straight national tournament trip as a head coach for David Pierce, and he's done it with 3 different programs, Kyle. I mean, that's really amazing. Yeah. As this one bounds over the mound. It'll be a tough play for Huffman.
That's really good.
But he got rid of it to get the out, and Jones is retired.
He had to go a long ways to make this play. Jones is a pretty good runner now, too. 14 stolen bases on the year, but watch how deep the shortstop Huffman is, and this is do or die. I mean, you've got to get it to that bare hand. The transfer has to be perfect. Did he get him? By a spike. I think he got him by a spike, or he was safe by a spike. It's one or the other. No instant replay in the regionals. We'll start to have it in the super regionals.
And Casey Clemens, who had a little dribbler up the line and got thrown out by the pitcher. He could be thrown out by the pitcher again. Low throw, dug out at first by Jackson. And Clemens is 0 for 2. We were talking about the fielding last half inning for Long Beach. It's been great this half.
So look where we're at. We got a total shift on, which is exactly why Clemens is trying to bunt at this spot. The problem is, I love the idea because you just need base runners right here. But we got to bunt a little bit harder. If he bunts it to a point to where McCacken can't get there, it's a base hit absolutely every time. That's the only guy that can make them play right there. McCacken had to barehand it, and it took a quick throw to get Clemens.
Austin Todd will hit with the bases empty and 2 outs here in the Texas 4th. Casey Clemens, you know, is the big hitter, and we've seen him with one swing, you know, make a huge impact in a game already yesterday. Do you like that approach there?
Yes, and I'll tell you why. Because to me, it feels like, and I guess you can make the argument that he can make a 2-2 with one swing, but in a game to where it feels like every run is absolutely going to be at a premium, to me, it's a selfless play, and I think it's fine to do right there, okay? You want to get guys on base, and if the bunt is just a little bit harder, Casey Clemens is standing on first base. I love the idea. The only thing I would say is if you're going to do that, err on the side of too hard or foul. So try to make it perfect the first time, because if it goes foul, who cares? You get another shot to do it.
Two and 2 to Todd.
Go, rise above it. Here we go. Rise above him.
Austin Todd in left field tonight. Saw Darren McCacken's numbers there. Pop up. foul behind home plate. Banuelos, great defensive catcher. And how about the defense all around for Long Beach in that half inning? A great play by Huffman at short. A terrific play off the mound by McCacken. And then David Banuelos takes an at-bat away from Austin Todd.
How about this? About as far as Banuelos can go. The ball's going to come back to him, and he just had enough room.
Let's catch you up. Here's our game recap. Long Beach State got the scoring started in the bottom of the first inning. But there was some good defense by Texas first, as Brett Boswell with a little flip we might see on SportsCenter later. And then this is the run that they scored, KP, on a bad throw.
Yeah, on a bad throw on a delayed steal. It was run perfectly by Long Beach State. Pushed the first run across. That swing tied it. Brett Boswell to left. 1-1. Not anymore. Brock Lundquist solo home run to right. That gives the Beach the lead 2-1 as we head to the bottom of the fourth in what has been a crisp and well-played game to this point.
Morgan Cooper will start the fourth inning here against Romano, Lundquist, and Banuelos. Cooper 6-3 on the year. One of the semifinalists for the Golden Spikes Award. It's not expected that anyone other than Brent Rooker or Brendan McKay will win that award.
I think that is very fair. Yes.
Romano reached in a fielder's choice, then he was caught stealing to end the first. But he was caught stealing after the first run of the game came across in Daniel Jackson on that throw from Cantor. We heard from coach that it was a communications thing, and it's 1-2 now here to Romano.
And just to explain a little more as to what David Pierce was talking about, he said, you know, it was a delay. We need a little bit more help from the dugout. If it's a straight break, your middle infielders recognize it right away because they're looking at it. But if it's a delayed steal, which means it's a secondary lead, they don't go right away. You take a few hops. And then as that ball gets closer to home plate, that's when the runner breaks. Middle infielders are looking towards home plate.
Popped up.
That's
right
when
side.
you rely on somebody else to let you know they're going.
Romano's it out. And we remind you that tomorrow night on ABC, it'll be game 2 between the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Warriors of Golden State. Warriors won it 1-0 the other night. Lead the series 1-0 thanks to the win the other night.
That'd have been a record.
Yeah, 1-0 final. Coverage begins at 7:30 Eastern with NBA Countdown. So against San Diego State, that's got to be exhausted after a 13-inning win over UCLA, waiting to see who they're going to play.
Yeah, that's an exhaustion that you don't mind because it means that you get to play again tomorrow. Will be interesting to see what the Aztecs do. Could be Cody Thompson on the mound, could be Jacob Erickson, who warmed up in the bullpen today, did not come into the bullpen because of how good the closer was.
Swing and a miss by Lundquist, who had the solo home run that he rode out of here into the bullpen in right back in the second inning. Two of the 3 hits for Long Beach State have been extra base hits, including that home run. Just the second home run Cooper has given up this year. And for Lundquist, his 4th long ball.
McCacken, on the other hand, it gave one up, has given up 11.
Yeah. And I think you touched on it earlier, Kyle. I think it's the direction, it's the tilt for Cooper. Makes it hard to get under it. And it's a strikeout here. Lundquist is out number 2.
Yeah, it's real stuff. So you talk about from a professional standpoint, when you look at these two different guys and what the differences are. One, Morgan Cooper, the size is going to play out a little bit in a pro scout standpoint. 2, the velo's a little bit more. He's been up as high as 95 to this year. I'd been there today, but he's been 91, 92, 93. That's pretty good, especially with the tilt that he has. And the other is a true 4-pitch guy. He's shown the ability to throw all for a strike today. That is a very good combination for the man that leads the Big 12 in strikeouts this year.
Banuelos ties into one, but it's going to stay in the yard. Mathis makes the catch. It's a 1-2-3 inning for Morgan Cooper. And it stays a 1-run game. Troy Buckley's team has the lead. We'll talk to him next. Welcome back to the NCAA Baseball Regionals presented by Capital One. Cool and pleasant now in Long Beach, California, as we welcome in Troy Buckley as his Dirtbags have the lead here 2-1. And Coach, the last couple of nights you've scored 6 total runs in the first 2 innings. The approach at the plate at the start of these contests has been what?
I think going into it is whatever we're trying to do, no matter who we're facing, if it's away, up, on the fastball, you know, like with Cooper. So I think that's what you're taking into it. And then you look into the adrenaline of a first inning for a pitcher, I think is a big deal. Who can handle it coming from the bullpen into that next step? And so far, we've been able to take advantage.
Okay, so your guy on the mound seems like he can handle about anything. And you've had a chance to watch him just roll through the last 2 years. What makes McCacken so good?
Oh, man, KP, he got great feel to pitch. I mean, if we didn't call the game, he would understand swings and what he's doing. You know, we sit here and we call a game. Rico calls the game, but the pitcher has to take it to another level, not make it extra special, but he has to be able to get the ball in off the plate in a 1-2 count, different things like that. And just a magnificent amount of trust with this guy, regardless of what the velo says.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate it, Coach. And again, we talked to you real quick about it last night. Just a great atmosphere, and you should be proud.
Yeah, thanks for the coverage. This is really cool for everybody. We really appreciate it.
Great to be here.
All right, guys, thanks.
5th inning, and it's 2-1 Long Beach State. Boswell Reynolds can too here for Texas. He's got it going here on the beach. Ground ball to the first baseman. Jackson with the easy play over there for the first out. He's in his 7th year as head coach, 3rd NCAA trip in 4 years for Buckley.
I think it's important to realize what he left, too. Troy Buckley was the minor league pitching coordinator for the Pittsburgh Pirates. That's a big job. I mean, that essentially is saying you oversee all of the pitchers from the minor league standpoint within our organization. Came back to Long Beach State, the associate head coach for 1 year, now the head coach for the last 7. And you can see why. We talked about it last night. What I really like about the approach, it's a CEO approach as a head coach. Dan Rickenbaugh calls the pitches. That's who he referenced just a minute ago. Greg Bergeron calls the offense. Troy Buckley's involved in it, but doesn't feel like he has to have his finger on the course of everything during the course of the ball game. I think it's healthy, and I think it leads to better teams.
It's essentially what they do at the professional level, and that's where he's had a lot of experience. Maybe that's where he decided that's how he was going to do it if he came back to college.
And I think what's cool is you have a catcher who has a great understanding of pitching, and so it's kind of both sides. I mean, it's another example of a catcher turned head coach who has seen a little bit of everything in this game.
Lifted up to the outfield by Ryan Reynolds, and the catch is made by the center fielder Nelson for out number 2. The ESPN networks are bringing you every pitch of every game on the road to Omaha across the networks. ESPN2, SEC Network, and ESPN3. And also whip around coverage with bases loaded. All games available on the ESPN app. We are very proud of our coverage too again this year. Of course, the College World Series will start on the 17th of June. That'll be here before you know it. And those are games that you can work, Kyle. You can sleep in your own bed.
20-minute commute, Clay. 25 in traffic.
That's pretty good. You know, I lived there about 20 years ago. The traffic was never bad then. Is it getting worse now? Because I know that's a hot town. A lot of people come to Omaha, and when they get there, they don't want to leave.
But the Dodge Street traffic is a little bit different than the 405 at 5 o'clock, which we've found since coming back out here to L.A. I'll take the Dodge Street traffic. I love the environment out here, but I'm all right with Dodge.
That's hit high. but it's going to stay in the yard. Tankus. Well, he hit it about 250 feet high, but 250 deep, too.
Introducing the combo of combos. The big bold grilled combos from Applebee's. A grilled entree and a side. And another grilled entree and another side.
He championed this year in Omaha as Coastal Carolina was left out of the tournament. They were another one of those teams that were, close, but no cigar this year. So the Chanticleers stay home. But, there are going to be some great storylines that play out at TD Ameritrade again this year. Maybe one of these teams will find themselves in Omaha. Of course, Texas has 6 College World Series championships. Long Beach does not have a championship, having been there 4 times. They haven't been there since the late 90s, 1998 in fact. They've got a 2-1 lead here as they hit in the bottom of the 5th. The Dirtbags send Garrett Nelson, Luke Rasmussen, and Lane Huffman. 7, 8, 9 here in the 5th. Backing up in center is Gerwitz. And he'll make the catch moving to his right for the first out. Sunday Night Baseball, 7:30 on ESPN tomorrow night. The Cardinals and the Cubs. Coverage begins straight up at 7 with Baseball Tonight. Sunday Night Countdown also streaming live on the ESPN app. The Cubs may be getting some momentum back now after a tough go for a while. They win today 5-3.
Yeah, and I believe Kyle Schwarber went deep today too, didn't he?
Grand slam.
Yeah, there's another one they need to get a little bit of mojo going right now.
Former Indiana Hoosier. We've got a good pitching matchup again here tonight. Morgan Cooper for Texas and Darren McCacken. McCacken has really settled in, KP.
He's given up 1 hit. The 1 hit is a solo home run. And there has not been a lot of loud contact from Texas up to this point. McCacken has looked very comfortable. I thought it was interesting what Troy Buckley said. It's not about stuff. With McCacken, you can pretty much take the battery out of the radar gun and throw it in the trash can. It doesn't much matter. Just watch the swings.
There's a strikeout as Rasmussen swings and misses. 2 outs for Huffman.
The guy on the other side, Morgan Cooper, has been really good himself. 4 strikeout right there. And we've talked about the ability to throw 4. This has been the most impressive for me, though. The fastball at the bottom part of the zone that has life, has velocity, and he can keep it right at the bottom part of the knees. He's done it consistently all night. 6 flyouts, 3 groundouts. That is 4 strikeout.
Trying to butt his way on is Huffman. Reynolds, good play. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for Morgan Cooper. Needed just 6 pitches to get through the 5th.
Why do some
McCacken has retired 10 straight Texas Longhorns, and he's gotten a lot of help from his defense tonight, Kyle.
Yeah, he absolutely has. But here's the thing. If you're a defensive plays behind McCacken, you're ready to go. He works fast. He throws a ton of strikes. And you know what? He can do some things himself, too. Steals a hit away from Casey Clemens. Then Banuelos goes to the base of the wall right behind home plate. Defense wants to play behind guys that throw strikes and work fast. And that's exactly what McCacken has done tonight.
Darren McCacken. Just the one mistake, the solo home run by Boswell in the 2nd. And he gets a fly ball here by the number 9 hitter Hamilton for the first out. Darren McCacken. You mentioned it before, the 2-time Big West Pitcher of the Year. His career record coming into tonight at home, Kyle, 12-1 on this surface with a 1.19 ERA. He absolutely loves pitching from this mound.
Yeah, you want to know what's changed? He grew more hair. Look at that now. I mean, this is like old school McCacken right there. Now we got the locks flowing. That's a knock.
That's going to leak into center field. Patrick Mathis with the first hit for Texas since the homer in the second. Yeah, he's your prototypical Southern California guy, especially now with the long hair. Grew up just a few blocks from the campus in Long Beach.
So if I'm Texas right now offensively, okay, you got a guy on the mound that is sneezing strikes. Like whatever he wants to throw right now is going to go over the plate. So it's an ideal guy if you want to put a hit and run on at some point during the course of this at bat. The problem is the dude behind home plate, because Banuelos is one of the best in the entire country at throwing out base stealers. So you really have to count on the guy at the plate. Gerwitz is a guy you can count on. If they get into a hit and run count, don't be surprised if the Longhorns try to put some in motion here.
Pitch out. Banuelos was ready to fire.
Doesn't surprise me that Dan Rickenbaugh would do that right there, because you're thinking, all right, maybe first pitch they're going to try to put something in motion. This to me is one of my favorite parts about our game, is this cat and mouse component that happens right now. When do you do it? If you're going to do it, do you guess again and potentially pitch out on what 1-0 is a typical hit and run count?
Check this swing, and it caught a piece of Banuelos, and he's going to walk it off. Banuelos, again, Johnny Bench Award candidate. He took that off the foot, it appears. But what a weapon he is behind home plate.
Yeah, he is that. I mean, there are that catching position. Maybe not quite to the point of shortstop, but very close. But defensively can affect the course of the ballgame more than anywhere else on the field. I think it's those two spots. And Banuelos does that. He really makes you think as to whether or not you want to take a chance on the base pass. 17 of 28 he has thrown out this year.
The 1-1 to Zane Gerwitz. He'll have to wait for it. Gerwitz a fly out in the first, a ground ball out in the third. McCacken has used his defense. Just a couple of strikeouts. Let the guys help him behind him. 1-1 here to Gerwitz, one out. Mathis away from first. We'll see if he takes off. He stays put. Sprained into right field for a base hit. Back-to-back hits for the Longhorns. And finally, maybe they're starting to figure out Darren McCacken.
Pretty nice approach right there by Gerwitz. Fastball on the outside part. McCacken throws it exactly where he wants to, and Gerwitz just spoiled it. Let the ball get deep. Was trying to take that ball the other way the whole time. If he did have a hit and run on there, you could have gone first and third, but understandably 1-1 count. David Pierce does not put it on, but Gerwitz does his job. Shoots it to right. Back-to-back singles, hits number 2 and 3 for the Longhorns today.
And the second hit of the national tournament for Gerwitz. Travis Jones 0 for 2 with a strikeout. But he had the game-winning RBI last night for Texas in the win over UCLA. Tying run out at second. Jones has been a real leader for the Longhorns this year. He's played in every game. A lot of times in the outfield, but also has played a little short. He's caught this year for Texas. He's the DH in this ball game today. First pitch to Jones. That backs in for a strike.
Yeah, a little backup slider first pitch. Wasn't exactly where he wanted to throw it. But you get away with this one more than the slider that hangs in the middle of the plate every time, because hitters give up on it. They're not used to seeing the pitch in that spot, because on the mound you never want to throw it there. You're trying to throw it on the glove side, not on the arm side. So a hitter gives up on it, thinking it's a fastball that's going to miss in and off the plate. And that spin just holds it on the inside corner.
One strike pitch to Jones. Ground ball, could be two. Huffman to Duran for one. Safe at first. Runners at the corners, and the inning continues for Texas. And these dirtbag fans climbing all over Perry Costello, the first base umpire.
I think it's the right call. At least from here, with the naked eye and real speed, it looked like the right call. Huffman got rid of it as quickly as he could.
Yeah,
here's the other thing. Base runners, watch where he hits the base. The very front of first base. It might seem like a small thing, but if he steps to the middle or to the backside of the base, backside A, there's a chance you're going to get yourself hurt. But B, it takes longer to get to first base. Jones getting down the line, steps on the front part of first base. Might have been the difference between safe or out.
And that'll bring Casey Clemens to the plate with 2 on. Clemens hasn't left the infield yet. He's been thrown out twice by McCacken. Once up the first base line. Once he was trying to get a hit, taking advantage of the shift. Up the third base line, but McCacken got him there too. Clemens has 12 home runs on the year. 49 runs batted in. He got that 12th homer yesterday.
Defensively for Long Beach, it's a shift, but it's kind of an abbreviated shift. Duran, the second baseman, pushed all the way more over towards the first baseman. Huffman shaded up the middle. Ramsey Romano, the third baseman, shaded towards the 6 hole.
The 1-0 pitch to Clemens. Now 2-0. Casey is the son of Roger Clemens, of course, the former Longhorn great. There he is. Cody, his other son, who's on the roster, not in the lineup again tonight. On deck is Austin Todd, who's 0 for 2. Casey Clemens, really the nucleus of this Texas team, went 9 for 22 at the Big 12 tournament. Hit a couple of homers, really carried Texas to that title game against Oklahoma State. Has a chance here. Give Texas the lead back, perhaps.
You're going to see 3-0 off speed here. 3-0 slider. Thinking there's a chance that Casey Clemens has a green light. Long Beach trying to think with him. Could have guessed right there if you wanted. If you're Clemens, try to sell out on an off-speed pitch.
Zach Bayun. McCacken with first real issue since the second inning. The 3-1 to Clemens.
Changeup.
Full count.
Here it comes again. .3-1 slider. Excuse me, 3-0 slider. 3-1 changeup. They're on their feet at Blair Field.
Got it. No, just got a piece of it.
Just a little location difference in the last 2 pitches, and that one allowed Clemens to get a piece of it. Another changeup, this one a 3-2 changeup, and elevated enough. Now you got to be careful, because the pitch that Clemens hit out was a 2-0 changeup from Griffin Canning that leaked over the middle of the plate. That one he hit into the right field bullpen. Changeup well located, probably going to get it. Changeup that misses in, could be 4-2 Longhorns quick.
Missed down, bases loaded.
That's a big time take. We just saw that pitch twice. Swung at it, missed, swung on it and barely got a piece of it. And I think this is the right call. I thought it just missed out. It was close. It was really close, and I thought it was a great 3-2 pitch, but it's an even better take. I think the ball's down.
It is down. Yep. Now a conversation on the mound amongst the infielders, and a trip to the mound from Dan Rickable, the pitching coach.
I think the fear, and maybe it's not a fear, but something that Long Beach State is looking for here is just to see if the stuff of McCacken carries through this ball game. They did give him an extra day, and they gave him an extra day just to make sure that that strength was up after a full season of not missing a turn.
Dan Rickable pitched at Fullerton. Most recently, he was the pitching coach at Loyola Marymount. He's going to hang in there.
Hey, not taking him out now.
For more coverage of the Division I tournament, go to ncaa.com. Long Beach State and Texas, each with a win under their belt. Bases loaded in the top of the 6th for the Longhorns. Austin Todd, who's 0 for 2, stands in. 2 outs. Strike 1. McCacken had retired 11 straight before starting to run into issues here in the 6th inning. Couple of hits, fielder's choice, and a walk. Yesterday, Texas was terrific with its 2-out hitting. Long Beach was, for that matter, too. The 1-1 to Todd. Served into center. Nelson going back. He'll camp under it, make the catch. And Darren McCacken escapes unscathed in the top of the 6th. The Horns load him, but come up with zilch. Welcome back to the NCAA Baseball Regionals, presented by Capital One. Thanks to them for sponsoring the national tournament again this year. Here is our regional bracket. We have seen San Diego State stave off elimination today with a 3-2 13-inning 5-hour 7-minute game, taking out UCLA 3-2. So the Aztecs will play tomorrow afternoon against whoever loses this game, and the winner will be on to the regional final. He's Kyle Peterson, former big leaguer, former star at Stanford. I'm Clay Matvick. It is Long Beach at the plate in the bottom of the 6th. This is Duran, and it's Cooper with the out.
That works against many, but not a guy that has about a 7-foot wingspan that's fallen that way already. Try to beat him with a drag bunt and just can't get it far enough. Cooper reaches that big old glove hand out, flips it to first base for the out.
It's been a good night for Jackson, 2 for 2. Double and a run scored. Single his last time up, also stole a base. As Long Beach hits here in the 6th, they only have the 3 hits. But made the most of their swings. That solo home run certainly by Brock Lundquist to lead off the second helps. We've seen 2 home runs in this ball game. And on a night, an entire day where the ball hasn't really been flying with liberty. I mean, it kind of gets held up by the air. But the 2 balls that were hit out here tonight, the solo shot in the top of the first by Brett Boswell of Texas and the solo shot by Lundquist for Long Beach, they were really hit hard. And they weren't hit high. They stayed down, and I still think that may have helped. They were able to cut through it.
Well, both really good swings.
We have seen a lot of home runs in this tournament so far this year. And it continues the trend that we saw throughout the regular season. A lot of long balls, Kyle. But we've also seen a lot of strikeouts. So what does that tell you? You're kind of seeing both ends of the spectrum at the exact same time.
Well, it tells me, which I think the college game is starting to mimic the pro game in a few different ways. We've seen it from Texas this year. David Pierce, when he got to Texas, one of the first things he did, he brought the fences in. They brought the fences in here to bring the home run into play a little bit more. And I think the other thing it does, it gives your offense, gives them a little bit more swagger. And if guys go up there think they have a chance to hit a home run, that is a devastating 2-seam fastball right there from Cooper, just exploding at the end. But you kind of stick your chest out a little bit more as an offense if you think you got a chance to hit a home run, and I think that's good. That's healthy. The one thing in comparison, and let's look at Cooper tonight, and the stuff. I mean, to me, the stuff for Cooper has been outstanding tonight. 4 strikeouts. We just saw the 4th a minute ago on a 2-seam fastball. But it's been 4 pitches for a strike when he wants to throw them tonight for Cooper. So not to say our game has to mimic the major league game. It shouldn't. The athletes are different. The game is a little bit different. But the one thing I would like to see less of is bunting earlier in the baseball game. To me, I think it's a crutch that we see too much in college baseball instead of just play for a bigger inning early. I know it works sometimes. I also know the other one works sometimes. And statistics would tell you, specifically at the major league level, that if you swing the bat early instead of bunting with a guy on first base, over time you're going to score more runs. I would like to see a little bit more of that in the college game.
There are going to be certain teams, though, that aren't all that offensive that are going to have to do it. But I get your point, especially some of the bigger clubs that, you know, do have a lot of offense. You still see them doing it.
But there's more ways to score runs than hit it over the fence. I mean, it's not like you got to have guys hitting 25 home runs to say, you know, unless we have that, we're going to stop bunting. I mean, you can hit balls in the gap. You can hard hit balls too. You force the other side to play catch. Now a bunt does the same thing, and a bunt isn't an automatic out. We've seen that plenty of times.
And he strikes out Tankas, back-to-back Ks in the 6th for Cooper. You were talking about swagger. Cooper certainly got it. As we go to the 7th inning in a tightly contested winners bracket game here in Long Beach. It's 2-1 Dirtbags on top of the Horns.
At Chile.
Texas has a run up on the board. It's because Brett Boswell hit a solo home run at the top of the 2nd. They trail 2-1, but you know, Boswell got this out of here. Opposite field. That is a strong young man to be able to do that in this ballpark.
Yeah, there is some talent in that bat, and I think it's a bat that's going to play for a while. Brett Boswell, the numbers might not quite match the potential yet, but I got a feeling they're going to catch up at some point in his career. Also made a defensive gem up the middle.
Power hitting second baseman with his 6th home run of the year. He starts Texas off here in the 7th, down a run, and their season is at 38 wins, 22 losses. They got a win last night, and again, whoever wins this game will be 2-0 in the regional and in the final tomorrow night. The loser has to turn around and come back here tomorrow afternoon. Got a piece 0-2. Boswell was really hard to get out during the Big 12 tournament. He went 8 for 19. And he swung it well here, too, in the national tournament. Had a hit last night in an RBI. Drove in Texas's second run in that win over UCLA. The home run to get the Horns on the board in this one. The 0-2. 1-2. UCLA, it's a short trip home, but they're depressed. First time they've been knocked out of a national tournament without a win in the regional.
Over 30 years.
Yeah, 1986.
Yeah. I like it. I like it. Troy Buckley said this earlier in the ballgame. And he said, you know what, if we didn't call the pitches, Darren McCacken could. And even without max velocity, still shows you the ability to challenge with a fastball inside. He did it right there off a guy that hit a home run. And a lot of times your natural reaction when a guy hits it a long ways is to go away, away, away. I like them crowding Boswell with a fastball in.
Goes outside that side.
Now you got room if you want to come back in. That was a changeup. The swing that you saw Boswell take on the fastball leads you to believe that he doesn't really want it in there. The ball that he hit out was a fastball outer third of the plate that he hit out to left center. There's nothing wrong with trying to crowd him again with that fastball. Just make sure you get it in there. Ooh, he shook it off.
The 2-2. That is hit a ton to right field. That has a chance, and it is gone. Home run. Boswell has done it again. His second solo home run, and now we're tied at 2 apiece.
He shook away from the fastball in. They called fastball in. He shook. They called slider. He shook. And he shook to another changeup. And it was a changeup that was left elevated that's hit out of the ballpark. Watch this. First sign, fastball in. Shake. Slider. Shake. Now to the changeup. Changeup left elevated. Tie ball game.
Boy, there are plenty of Texas fans in here, because this place got loud when that ball left the yard, and it's dominated by Long Beach fans, but the Horns fans are back in this one, and it's now 2-2. 2 strikes here to Reynolds. You know, the sound is kept in by this overhang in the grandstand.
This is a great college baseball game.
The 0-2 to Reynolds. Struck him out. Here's another look at the Boswell homer.
So here's what power looks like, all right? First fastball of the day, you hit it to left center. That's a home run. Change up hanging, you hit it to right field. That's a home run. Boswell 2 home runs on a heavy night. He's hit 1 to left center. He's hit 1 into the Jared Weaver bullpen in right field. And the second one ties the ball game at 2 here in the 7th.
Where does Boswell get drafted? Because people have to be looking at this guy. I tell you, that swing is a major league swing.
He's toolsy. I mean, I think it's one of those, you draft him more on potential than what you have seen over the course of his college career, and that's fine. I mean, that's the job of scouts, and I think it's one of the toughest jobs of scouts, is to try to figure out what he is when you get him in pro ball for a while.
That's a base hit for Cantu. And the last couple of innings, Texas has really started to put some good swings on McCacken. Don't forget, we've got everything covered for you on Bases Loaded. which continues through Monday, the end of the regionals. And don't forget the Supers are next week and the College World Series the week after that. You can see everything this weekend streaming live on the ESPN app. Well, 2 hits this inning now against McCacken. He has shown some vulnerability here the last couple of innings, KP, and Texas has started to figure him out.
It took a mistake, though, and I don't think it was necessarily a mistake on the pitch that he threw. It was the location. Left it middle, left it up, and Boswell tied it.
Activity in the Long Beach bullpen. Zach Bayun. Back to McCacken, to second for 1. Double play. Texas gets 1. That's all they get. As McCacken gets through the 7th, but not before Brett Boswell does an encore, his 2nd home run of the game. Tournament headlines: Davidson advancing to the region final in Chapel Hill. In their first tournament appearance, they've really done well. Stanford in trouble in the bottom of the 9th, and the SEC has played well in the tournament so far, 10-2.
Wow, how about that? Florida, Auburn, Vanderbilt, 2-0. 2 of those 3 on the road now, too. Auburn down at Florida State. They have not had to play the Seminoles yet. And Vanderbilt behind the right arm of Kyle Wright and the bat of Will Toffee. Toffee had 4 hits yesterday, at least 3. I didn't see a final box today, but that's at least 7 hits for Toffee in the first 2 games, and Vanderbilt's 2-0. Took the Gators extras today, too.
Yes, yes. Kyle Wright could end up being the first pick in the draft, by the way.
Yeah, he's helping himself right now, that's for sure.
It's Ramsey Romano at the plate for Long Beach. Lundquist and Banuelos to hit here in a game that is now tied at 2.
A slider there. Slider, cut. That's a slider. It's not cutter. That's a real slider.
Both starters still in the game. Morgan Cooper, who started this game for Texas, hasn't given up a run since the home run to Lundquist in the 2nd.
You know, the one thing that happens in regionals, too, for teams that go to different areas of the country, different sets of scouts get to see guys. Morgan Cooper's making some money tonight, because for guys on the West Coast that haven't put their eyes on him, what you've seen tonight is a 4-pitch guy that's huge, that has a real fastball, has controlled all 4, and projects incredibly into college baseball. This is a really good time to have one of your best starts of the entire year.
What have you noticed with his velocity? Because we haven't talked about his velocity much. You've kind of mentioned more that he's I don't know, what did you say, a finesse?
He's been up to no, he's not finesse. He's been up 95. Now, not today, but in his life he's been up to 95. Now, we can argue guns. I don't know if ours is quite there. It could be a tick or 2 low. It's real arm strength, though.
It's going to be a tough play for the shortstop. Hamilton throws wide. And Romano's going to get second base. That's going to be an error on the Texas shortstop.
So watch the hop before it gets to Hamilton. This one right here shoots backwards on him, so he has to go all the way back, almost off his right leg, to field that ball. As an infielder, you want to field it off your glove side, off your left leg. Had to reach across his body. I think it changed the course of his throw. That was the difference to that one being offline. Okay, there's one. Now watch this second hop. How it kind of takes him back. Maybe it wasn't as bad as I thought it was. Maybe it was just a poor throw. I thought the second hop might have taken his glove to the other side of his body.
David Pierce out to talk to Morgan Cooper for the first time here tonight. He's going to stay with him. There you see Hamilton, who's been so good defensively this year at shortstop. It's a hit for Romano, an error on the throw that puts him at second base. And now the go-ahead run is in scoring position for Lundqvist, who had that homer earlier tonight. He's 1 for 2. And I'm sure that was part of the discussion there with Pierce to Cooper. It's just like, hey, remember this guy up next.
Well, I'd say the other thing, Long Beach State doesn't sit pat very often. When they get guys on base so far in these first 2 ball games, they haven't sat and waited for a ball in the gap. They've been active either with base runners or putting stuff on.
Squaring to bunt is Lundqvist. Corners start creeping in. Pulls the bat back and swings past the first baseman into right field. Romano will stop at third as Greg Bergeron, the third base coach, puts up the stop sign.
Yep, makes sense. Nobody out. Nobody out. No reason to take the chance right here. 2 outs. Bergie's right arm's flying right away. But with nobody out, I think you hold him up right here. All right, so the bunt brings Clemens in. That's why this is a hit. When I talked about Long Beach State doesn't sit still, this is exactly what I'm talking about. They force you into a level of uncomfort defensively. The fake bunt forces the corners in. It gives you a greater level of certainty if you hit the ball hard on the ground. That ball shoots through. If Clemens playing back, that's an out. Clemens playing in, there's not enough time to react to it.
$2,500 dirtbag fans are fired up again. Runners at the corners, nobody out for Long Beach. And Banuelos, who's 0 for 2, stands up there. Chase Sugart warming up for Texas. Foul ball. Banuelos had a couple of raps last night. He was 2 for 3. He was on base 3 times. Tonight hitless as Long Beach State has the go-ahead run at third. Winner of this one will have the upper hand and will move into the region final.
Not a bad idea. When you're on the road, you love it when everyone boos you. That is the greatest sound in the world.
I don't understand why people get so worked up over that anyhow.
I don't either, but that is the greatest sound.
Nothing in 1 to Banuelos. Cooper's pitch. It's up and in. First time Long Beach has strung back-to-back hits together in this game tonight. They've got Cooper's feathers ruffled a little bit as he's looking for the first out. Middle infield at double play depth. They would give up that run for the double play.
Good swing.
You know, Banuelos, that's one aspect of his game that you and I the last couple of nights haven't talked about a lot. He has got good power numbers too.
He does. He does, and he's hitting about 300 on the year. I mean, we talk about defensively because he is a game changer back behind the plate. Now, the one thing with Banuelos to really, if the bat plays when he gets to the pro game, everything else plays. Like, you don't have to worry about whether or not he can catch and throw and whether he can receive enough to play at the major league level. The only question is, can the bat progress all the way through the minor leagues? Because this dude can catch.
That's fouled off a can too again.
He's getting beat up tonight, man. Yep. That's 2 that have hit him square. Morris Hodges, the home plate umpire, going to give him plenty of time right here. Made a walk out just to introduce himself to Morgan Cooper. Clean his mask off. We'll get going again.
I don't know why anybody would play that position, quite honestly. I just don't.
It's because most don't want to.
That's true.
Why.
It's kind of like being a Marine, I guess. The 1-2. You've got Ramsey Romano at third base. Lundqvist is at first for Long Beach State. There's nobody out here in the seventh. This is game 2 of the regional for both of these clubs. Each team won last night. Winner moves on to a game tomorrow night against either San Diego State or whoever loses this game. A time called over there at first base as Lundqvist was rattled a little bit, diving back into the bag.
Kind of rolled his ankle going back in.
The 2-2. Full count. On deck, Garrett Nelson, who's 0 for 2 tonight. This has been a good at bat for Banuelos. Morgan Cooper with just the 3 hits given up through 6 innings. He's given up 2 here in the 7th. And he's looking for that first out. He's at the 82 pitch mark. Activity in the bullpen. There's Texas head coach David Pierce. The payoff pitch. Struck him out. Runner goes. The throw to third. Hit the runner. Trying to score as Romano went. Another break on a throw from the catcher for Long Beach.
But this time they ran it the way that they wanted to. And they had him. They had Romano. Watch this. So it's a pump fake up the middle. Watch Cantu on the pump fake. Romano goes too far. He comes back in fair territory, which is exactly what you're supposed to do. Base runners, when your coach and you're growing up says go down and foul, come back in fair, this is why. It makes the throw that much tougher for a catcher. It goes off for Romano. Nobody can get there, and Long Beach takes the lead.
Garrett Nelson with 1 out. You go back to the first inning, it was a similar situation. Jackson was able to score on that throw where there was a lack of communication up the middle of the infield from Cantu.
This was run correctly from a Texas standpoint. I mean, it was exactly what you wanted. Pump fake, see if you could get the base runner far enough, and Romano bit. I mean, he went far enough to where if that throw doesn't hit him, he's out. But by going back inside the base path, it forced the throw to be that much tougher for Cantu, and then honestly, Long Beach State got lucky.
Look at That's a fair ball. And Nelson will push Lundqvist to third, but there are 2 outs now.
Well, the winner of this regional will play Cal State Fullerton.
Stanford's been eliminated.
Stanford has been eliminated.
And
Cal
Mark
State
Marquis'
and
run is over.
some balls hit in the last inning that really had a chance. One to the warning track in center field that was caught, but Fullerton, who beat Stanford 4 out of 5 times this year, ends a 50-year run at Stanford for Mark Marquis in a year that honestly might have been one of his best coaching jobs that he's ever had. They finished strong, won 21 out of the last 23, earned a national seed, but Fullerton knocks off Stanford to advance to the Super.
I know he gave you an opportunity to play college baseball. He recruited you to Stanford, and you were more than happy to go there and play for him. And it's got to be a little sad here to see it come to an end for your old coach.
Well, and I would admit I was kind of splitting time here between watching this one and watching that one, and seeing Mark Marquis walk across the field for the last time to shake hands is something I didn't really expect to see tonight.
Ground ball, hot shot to the third baseman Reynolds. His throw in time to get Rasmussen, but Long Beach State aggressive on the bases, and they go back in front.
They have forced the issue the entire night. They did it again in this inning, and it gives Long Beach a 1-run lead.
Sunday Night Baseball is copyrighted by the NCAA for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this telecast or any picture, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the NCAA's consent is prohibited.
Cal State Fullerton takes out Stanford. It's the Titans going on to the Super Regional round. They will face whomever comes out of here.
Yeah, they will. I mean, it could potentially be, it's either an all Big West Super or there becomes a decision as to who hosts a Super, because Cal State Fullerton, the 2 seed, if it's either Texas or if San Diego State can fight their way back through and win this regional, then it will obviously be hosted somewhere that is not a 1 seed. But Cal State Fullerton is through. The Titans are the first team to get through the Super Regional.
Long Beach State, which took 2 of 3 from Fullerton in the final weekend of the regular season.
Beat Fullerton 5 out of 6 times this year.
Yeah. Well, they're going to turn it over to Josh Advocate. Darren McCacken is out. He's in line for the win now as Long Beach State goes back in front 3-2 after scratching one out in the bottom of the 7th. A couple of the runs for the Beach tonight been a little interesting.
You know, it's the way that they play. And that's what you see when you go to the West Coast. You don't see it as much in other areas of the country as much, to where it is constantly putting pressure on the defense to make the right decision. And if you don't, or if you make a mistake, that's when they can get you. Long Beach State did it again last inning. Advocate on the senior. And I think it's the right move to get McCacken out of there, too. The stuff seemed to be a little bit different as he went to the 6th and the 7th. It was starting to flatten out a little bit. Long Beach State gets the lead. They'll go to the bullpen.
First man he'll face is Patrick Mathis, the leadoff man who singled his last time up. Gets him to pop up on the first pitch. This looks to be potentially playable. No. Just over the railing into that camera well down there. And Ramsey Romano can't come up with it. You know, it's kind of like the American League and the National League used to be for the longest time. It was the National League had that smaller ball approach, putting pressure on the defense. A premium was put on pitching and defense, where the American League was a little more free swing.
I think it's a great comment. I had a coach in the Southeast this year who said something to me that I thought was really insightful about West Coast players. He had a West Coast player on his team. He hadn't played a lot during the course of the year and started playing towards the end, and said, you know what, I didn't realize it until we saw him play for an extended period of time. So there wasn't a lot of flash. There wasn't a bunch of stuff going on. Then you see him play for 10 games. You see him play for 15 games. You go, okay, I get it. Always in the right place, doing the right thing. It's just the styles are different. One is not right, one is not wrong, but the styles are different, and I think it's an interesting contrast. Texas kind of fits in the middle. I mean, they'll show you a little bit of everything. They definitely did that with Augie, given his West Coast history. I think David Pierce will show you the exact same thing. You cannot get comfortable against Texas offensively.
A ball and 2 strikes to Mathis. Josh Advocate on in relief of McCacken here in the 8th inning. 3-2 Dirtbags. Struck him out. 1 down. You mentioned Augie Garrido. He's in attendance here tonight, Kyle, the longtime coach for Texas. Sunday Night Baseball, 7:30 on ESPN. Speaking of the National League, it'll be Cardinals Cubs. Coverage begins at 7 Eastern with baseball tonight. Sunday night countdown. Good start for Advocate. 1 down. And Gerwitz will hit now. Gerwitz is 1 for 3. Strike.
You would expect if you're Long Beach State. 1 from Advocate, 1 from Chris Rivera. Advocate 4 saves on the year. Rivera 11. Those 2 at the back end of the Long Beach bullpen have been solid all year.
This is the first reliever we have seen this weekend for Long Beach.
Yeah, what is this, inning 17?
Check this swing. Didn't go.
I think Texas has been essentially the same.
Yeah.
We've seen 1 Texas reliever. I think that's it, isn't it? Kingham went 7 2/3. Bridge to Ridgeway. Was that it?
That was it. We've been blessed.
Yeah. It's been well played.
1 ball and 1 strike. The number 2 hitter in the order for Texas. You know, and the crowd is just feeding off this here at Blair Field. Every pitch, you know, this energy level gets ratcheted up as they can sense that a win is getting closer now for Long Beach State. This is their first regional hosting job since 2008, and the fans are eating it up with a spoon. That is hit well to left. Has a chance. Good home run. And we're tied again. Zane Gerwitz with his 3rd of the year. 3rd solo home run for the Longhorns tonight.
Hagen slider to the most versatile player on this Texas lineup. Watch where the slider stays. Middle, and Gerwitz smokes it. He is on this the entire time. That left both fences over the first and over the second. A no-doubter off the bat of Gerwitz that ties it at 3. 3 solo home runs for the Horns tonight.
And here's Travis Jones. Base hit. Here comes Texas. They get to the bullpen and they start getting after it. And now Dan Rickaball is going to make a trip to the mound.
How fast does your mindset change in 2 pitches? One goes over the left field wall. The next one shot into right field for a single. Jones, the fastest, at least the best base stealer on this Texas ball club.
And he'll be at first base with 1 out after Rickaball has his visit. The 3 home runs, the 3 solo home runs for Texas, have they all been hit off of something other than a fastball?
I got to go back in my mind. No, 2 of the 3. Boswell's was a fastball.
Okay.
Out away for the first one. 2-seam fastball. Boswell hit to left center field. Hanging changeup. Boswell hit to right in the 7th. And then slider that was hung that Gerwitz hit in the 8th. So 3 different pitches.
Texas, you know, with the batting average that, you know, is about 12 points lower than what it was last year. But, you know, the approach for the offense has been different. They're a little bit more of a free swinging team. Let's be honest, for the fan, a little bit more fun to watch. And they are back in this ball game now with the 3 home runs. We're tied up at 3.
There's some more flash, and they've got the athletes to do it. And in talking to David Pierce, that was one of the first things that he wanted to do when he got there, is make the ballpark a little bit smaller, make it a little bit more offensive, and bring the mentality of that to where, you know what, we are going to play for the home, not play for the home run, but emphasize the home run. I saw him get swept by TCU, and I left that series saying I think Texas has got a chance to be pretty darn good by the time this season's over. I mean, it was a weekend to where Kingham did not throw the ball well. Cooper did not throw the ball well. It's the only weekend this year that those two on the same weekend didn't throw the ball well. But you could see the pieces. We've seen all the pieces in the first 2 games here.
Fans for Long Beach State starting to count outs. And just when you think that maybe Texas is running out of gas, Gurwitz ties this baby up at 3. Jones away from first. Let me check on him. Casey Clemens has had a quiet night offensively. A couple of ground outs where the pitcher McCacken handled the throw, and he's been on base once with a walk. His walk actually loaded the bases in the 6th, but Texas didn't score. Two balls and no strikes to Clemens. Advocate misses high. 3-0. Here's Dad Roger.
3-0
Mom Debbie.
3-0 green light.
I think so.
I think you have the guy standing there that you trust the most in your lineup to make a decision as to whether or not he goes after it. I would have no issues giving a 3-0 green light right here.
Now he walks again as the pitch is outside. And I don't know that that kills Long Beach, because now they've got the double play in order with Austin Todd coming up. 2 on 1 out. But yeah, the whole feel of this inning, you know, because he came out and got Mathis right away on strikes, but then the next hitter on one swing changed the whole feel of this inning.
Yep. Home run, and then first pitch single to right off the bat of Jones.
Austin Todd is 0 for 3. Ground out and a couple of flyouts. Now Banuelos wants to chat with Advocate. On deck for Texas is Brett Boswell, who has homered twice.
We'll see now. If Todd's bunting here, he's bunting on his own. There's no way that you're sack bunting with 1 out. And he showed really late and pulled it back. So it was either a take, or saw where Romano was playing at third base, thought he was far enough back, and maybe he could sneak one in.
Activity in the bullpen continues for Long Beach. Bayun continues to warm up. He's been there for a while. Advocate steps off. Darren McCacken was terrific through 7 innings. Just gave up those 2 home runs. Otherwise, very, very good. Advocate has started this 8th inning. He has already given up a solo home run to tie it. 2 on, 1 out for Texas. That's low. Loser will play San Diego State tomorrow afternoon in another elimination game. San Diego State eliminated UCLA earlier today in 13 innings. Imagine the Aztecs are getting their rest. They need it.
Yeah.
After a 5-hour and 7-minute game.
Josh Advocate had walked 4 guys the entire year. 4 guys in 33 innings. While Casey Clemens on 4 straight, now 2 straight balls to Austin Todd. Good 2-0 swing. Swung over the top, didn't get all of it, but it was a pitch that you'd like to go after 2-0. One you could do some damage with. He hits it down the left field line. Texas has a lead.
Jones at second, representing the go-ahead run. A whirlybird move there from Advocate. One home run for Todd this year.
Slider, good one.
2-2. Boswell's 2 home runs, 2 of his 7 on the year. He's hoping to get a chance on deck. The only thing that will keep him from doing that is a double play ball. The 2-2 pitch. Banuelos keeps it in front.
Now, do you take a chance and put him in motion with 1 out? Over the course of the season, Austin Todd, 20 walks, 24 strikeouts. It's about 1-1. See if David Pierce rolls the dice right here, puts everybody in motion. Could keep you out of a double play. Could light a score on a ball that's shallow hit to center field. Could also end up striking him out, throw him out.
Well, Advocate was thinking the same thing. He was going to just check to see if Texas was going to cheat and give away their position. Nobody was in motion there.
No, and it's not a big lead at second base. Jones has a very deep lead to start. But by the time he comes back into the baseline, he's just a step or 2 off of second base. We'll see if that extends here.
Advocate sets. And we're not done with the chess game. What do you think Texas's intentions are here?
I don't think they're running. But I'm solely going based off of the lead in second base. It's not an aggressive lead. Now, at the end of the day, I guess you don't need that aggressive of a lead. I mean, you're kind of counting on the guy to put it in play if you're going strike him out, throw him out. But the lead at second base by Jones is not a lead that you would normally take if you're going to steal.
3-2, runners do go, and it's out in front of home plate. Banuelos has 1 play. It's to first. A swinging bunt by Todd. And now they're at second and third with 2 out.
Okay, now here's why that matters. Because if they're not running, the arm of Banuelos probably throws the lead runner out at third base.
Here's our Capital One player of the game, Brett Boswell. 2 homers. He's 2 for 3. He's up next.
Yeah. I think that's the right choice. You go deep twice, once to left center, one to right field. It was runs 1 and 2 for Texas tonight. The solo home run by Gerwitz in the 8th was their 3rd that tied it.
Boswell now with 7 bombs on the year, and as it happens, he'll bat now. But he'll be facing a different pitcher. Josh Advocate will leave the ballgame.
I would think it's Chris Rivera.
It's going to be Zach Bayun. We'll talk about him next.
We just got the keys to our new house. Got the keys.
This is exciting. We've got our own house. Yay!
I'm sorry.
You like it here, Maddie?
I love you.
I love you too.
I believe computers are important in design, but it's the human touch that creates design with a feeling, creating a form that appeals to your heart.
Historic Blair Field in Long Beach. You're watching the NCAA Baseball Regionals presented by Capital One. The offense from Texas has been on home runs. 3 solo shots, in fact. 2 against McCacken, 1 against Advocate, and now Zach Bayun will take a turn on the mound for the Dirtbags.
Bayun on there to go left on left. I mean, that's the very reason you bring him in, and I think there's even more of a reason because of what Boswell's done today. If Boswell hadn't hit 2 home runs, I don't think Bayun's in the game right now. But because of the offensive day that Boswell has had, home run to left center, home run to right, now you bring Bayun in, a guy that matches up left on left. It's a fastball that can get 90-91. And a left on left breaking ball that's what you want. So that one that really moves away from the left-handed hitter. So you have to go fastball in, breaking ball away. Try to show Boswell a different look than he's seen today.
Boswell with an opposite field home run in the 2nd. A pull job in the 7th. And sandwiched in between a hard hit ground ball to the first baseman. Brett Boswell, the junior from Rockwall, Texas, has cleared the wall twice. And now with 2 outs and 2 on, he'll face Bayun for the first time. Lefty's first pitch. Good movement. And you're right. Immediately the first pitch that Boswell sees, you can tell that the different look fooled him a bit.
Okay, now the other thing to watch with Bayun, watch velocity difference. And it's one of the toughest matchup things for left on left. That breaking ball was 72 miles an hour. If he shows you a fastball, and I don't know if he will. He may stay breaking ball, breaking ball, breaking ball. But the difference between the fastball and the breaking ball sometimes is as much as 20 miles an hour. That is not easy for a hitter to keep your weight back and hit that ball with authority.
Another breaking ball, and it's a strike. 0-2. Now does he come with the fastball?
No, I think he continues to throw the breaking ball off the plate. But if I'm Boswell right here, I am climbing all over it. And if he sticks a fastball on the inside part of the plate, he wins. But I think you try to eliminate that one because on the swing and on the take right there, he didn't look terribly comfortable either time. Now I say that having been a very poor hitter, so I'm not sure if I take hitting advice, but I think you know what Bayun's going to try to do.
Well, he stuck the fastball and got him on 3 pitches. That ends the inning.
Breaking ball, fastball. The breakables at 72 miles an hour, the fastball at 89. Bayou pitches out of a jam, but the Longhorns tie it on this slider. Zane Gurwitz, tie ball game. Home run to left, and we have a great one in Long Beach.
Earning 63 home runs in the national tournament so far. We have seen 4 hit in this ball game tonight. We are tied going to the bottom of the 8th. The Dirtbags will send Lane Huffman, Jaron Duran, and Daniel Jackson to the plate. And jumping on the first pitch is Huffman, but he pops it back foul. He's over 2 with a couple of groundouts to the third baseman Reynolds. Solo home run by Zane Gurwitz last inning for the Longhorns, tying it up. You know, just when we've been talking about how this ballpark plays so big, we've seen 4 home runs here tonight. That is smoked to left, base hit. And now Long Beach can start the wheels a-turning again on the base paths, because that's been their most effective offense here tonight.
No, you're right. Yeah, the most effective offense has been chaos. When they get guys on, just creating chaos and forcing Texas to make defensive plays, that's when Long Beach has taken advantage of it today.
Top of the order in Duran, who's 0 for 3. Morgan Cooper, the starter for Texas, has been very, very good. Long Beach scored in the 7th. Had back-to-back hits to start the inning. And a run scored when Michael Cantu threw into Ramsey Romano, who appeared to be caught off third base.
Okay, now it wouldn't shock me right here, just because I love the way Greg Bergeron runs an offense sometimes. If they fake steal right now, and you fake steal just to see who covers second base, and if you get the coverage that you want, then you potentially peel it back. Let's see if he does it. Nope. Bunting.
Bunted foul.
Careful. Careful now. There's an argument here.
David Pierce is out of the dugout.
I understand why David Pierce is coming out right now. He touched the ball out of the box, and it looked very intentionally with his bat. Now, it's one thing if you throw the bat or drop the bat and the ball hits the bat. But the move of Duran after this, he should be out. Now, this ball was going to go foul, okay? In fact, the ball was already foul. But watch this, okay? He touched it with his bat when it was foul, but he's out of the box. He should be out. If it's an intentional move, it's no different than if it hits him in the foot if he's out of the box. He's clearly out of the box, okay? Reached down and touched it. That's exactly what brought David Pierce out, and it brought him out like that.
The high home camera from behind home plate, I thought it didn't look intentional. The one from down low, it looks intentional.
I would tell you that as the play was going, I thought it was intentional. I mean, he's looking straight down at it. I thought it was kind of at the end. I don't think he had to do it. I mean, it's kind of strange because I think it's really good baseball knowledge, but it's also pretty risky.
See, from that angle, that last angle, I didn't think it looked intentional, but the other angles, you could see his eyes looking at the ball.
I thought it was intentional. I also think the ball was going to go foul. I don't think there was a need to try to get tricky with it. That could have been called.
Well, Duran gets a break, you might say. No out, 1 strike the count to him. Huffman at first, and Cooper keeping a close eye on him. Represents the go-ahead run. Huffman hasn't been thrown out this year attempting to steal. It's 4 for 4. Squaring around is Duran. This time, it's going to roll foul, and he doesn't touch it, and there are 2 strikes. He dropped the bat coming out of the box that time. He didn't hang on to it to club the ball. Duran, the reason he wears that face guard, he was hitting the game against Fullerton right in the face with a pitch in late March. He missed some games. Everything's healed up now. The bones are fine in his face. But that's why he wears that flap. So he's got 2 strikes on. Probably bunt is up, but as I say that, he does square. 1-2.
Mild upset tonight at Baum Stadium in Fayetteville. Missouri State, who walked off Oklahoma State last night, 2-run home run, beats Arkansas 5-4 to go to 2-0 in the Fayetteville regional. And those two don't really like each other.
They've got a history.
Yeah.
Going back to that super regional, which was technically Missouri State's a couple of years ago, that they had to play at Baum Stadium because Missouri State's facility was out of commission. So, yeah, they do have a recent past. Yeah. 3-3 here in Long Beach. 1-2 the count to Duran. Nobody out. A run in the first, a run in the second, a run in the 7th for the Dirtbags. Duran squares again. This time it's a good bunt. 1 play to first. Huffman in scoring position.
They do it on a curveball too.
With 2 strikes and a breaking ball, he got it down.
Yeah, first 2 were fastballs. First 2 were fastballs. And you can be a little bit more fine with the first 2 and try to put it in a spot where you guarantee that the guy gets at second base. With 2 strikes, you just want to make sure you get it down. Watch the pitch though. I mean, it's a hard breaking ball. I think that was a slider. But a really good job by Duran. We've seen both the curveball and a slider tonight from Cooper. That would look like the slider. Duran gets it down. Go-ahead run standing at second base for Long Beach State with the middle of the order coming up.
Yeah, Jackson's been great tonight. A couple of hits. A double his first time up, and he scored a run in the first. Tell me that the Dirtbags just does not work for anybody else but this program. I mean, the way they play, that is a great nickname. They have been a little dirty on the bases tonight. They've made it work. They're trying to push the go-ahead run across here in the 8th. Pitch to Jackson. Ball 1. Slider strike, 1-1.
Cooper's carrying his good stuff deep into this ball game. I'm telling you, man, the dude's making a lot of money tonight. If you haven't seen him, and this is the first time that you saw Cooper, it's a very good report.
Scouts have all the good seats behind home plate again tonight. The 1-1 pitch. Ooh, that fouled off into Can2, who's just really had a tough night tonight.
Oh, I love that reaction, though. Can2 pops up and goes on a dead sprint out to the mound. This doesn't catch shin guard.
Oh, yeah. Nelly. Okay. How he had the ability to run to the mound is beyond me. 1-2. So the starters for either of these teams tomorrow, what are you thinking?
I mean, I think Kyle Johnston For Texas, I'd be surprised if it's anybody else. I would assume that it's going to be John Sheeks for Long Beach State. I mean, it's essentially been Sheeks, McCacken, Smith on the weekend for the vast majority of this year. And Kyle Johnston, the last 2/3 of the year, been thrown on the weekend for Texas. Missed, but a good pitch.
2 balls, 2 strikes. That was just off the plate. Again, the go-ahead runner's out at second base in Lane Huffman. If the Dirtbags can move him in. Daniel Jackson's been effective at the plate tonight, a double and a single in 3 trips.
I think in our 2 games tonight, partner, Robert Holloway in game 1, Morris Hodges in game 2 behind the plate
2
have
good
been
jobs. Yep.
solid.
Yep, very good.
Have not affected the game negatively or positively in either way. Strikes have been strikes, balls have been balls. Guys are going to miss a few. That's life. But they have been very, very good.
Guys on the bases have been good too.
Yeah.
It's been a well umpired regional so far. Ground ball. On his way to third is Huffman. He'll get there. The throw to first gets Jackson. But now there are 2 outs for Texas with Tankus ready to hit.
Now we'll see if it matters. That's a very good read by Huffman at second base. That's a very good read by Huffman at second base. Because that ball that's hit at guys at second base is that one where you see guys jelly legs sometimes. You're not quite sure, do I go, do I not go? Huffman, the minute that ball was hit, and it was right at him, he was often going to third base.
David Pierce comes out to talk to Cooper. First time this inning. That was a quick chat. He's going to stay with his starter. And he's going to be throwing his 100th pitch next. Tankus, a walk and 2 strikeouts.
But the Aggies too. Texas A&M now 2-0 in their regional. They're in the driver's seat in Houston. They beat Iowa 3-2 today. That's now 4 SEC teams that are 2-0.
The SEC 11-2 in the regional so far. Popped up. Cooper gets out of the inning without a run coming across. Huffman left at third base. It's tied at 3.
The NCAA Baseball Regionals is presented by the Quicksilver Card from Capital One. Earn unlimited 1.5% cash back every purchase everywhere. And in part by Heineken. Open your world. Enjoy responsibly.
This is what a 1 versus 2 matchup should be. We go to the 9th, tied at 3. Long Beach State will send Chris Rivera out there now. He's been the closer. The sophomore has 11 saves on the year. This is his 24th appearance, all in relief.
Well, I think it shows you the importance of this ball game right now. Long Beach goes to their closer in a tie ball game. Look at this stuff now. 18 hits, 28 and 2/3 inning, 41 strikeouts. For Rivera, fastball solid, slider really good. Primarily 2-pitch guy, does have a changeup. He'll throw it when he needs to, but 11 saves over the course of the year for Rivera.
Reynolds, Cantu, and Hamilton 7, 8, and 9 for the Horns, who have 3 runs on 3 solo home runs. McCacken started. Advocate, Bayun working, and now Rivera tonight in relief. Strike 1. This is down. Reynolds with a walk his first time up, a fly out to center, and a strikeout swinging. San Diego State will play the loser of this game tomorrow afternoon here in Long Beach. Winner will be 2-0 going into a game tomorrow night. And this is off the plate, 2-1 here to Reynolds.
We came out of the air tonight talking about how hard it is to hit home runs in this ballpark at night. There's been 4 of them. Yep. It just feels the way that this game has gone.
That's
like
how
we're going to see another one.
Yeah. Reynolds certainly has that in his makeup with 5 on the year. Son of the former major leaguer Shane Reynolds. And he hits it well to right, but that's not going to leave the yard. Spanked it to Lundqvist. Good swing there against Rivera for Reynolds, but he's out number 1.
Just off the end of the bat. And this is what late movement will do. It'll get it off the barrel. And when you get to a wood bat, this might have broke a wood bat. It was all the way on the end. Maybe not quite. Probably would have got a piece of the barrel. But that late movement is enough to get it off the barrel. That's the difference between a ball that's squared up, potentially has a chance to leave the ballpark, or one that stays in and is a fairly easy play for Lundqvist and Ryan.
Michael Cantu now. Cantu to left. But again, that's going to stay in the yard. When it left the bat, it sure sounded good, but it's out number 2.
So top spin this time. This one did hit the barrel. And if he hits just a little bit lower on the baseball, it is 4-3. But just a little top spin that did not allow this ball to travel out to left field. It was hit on the button, but just not enough backspin. 2 quick outs for the closer Rivera in this inning.
Looking ahead to the Long Beach 9th, it'll be 4, 5, and 6. Romano, Lundqvist, Banuelos. Rivera trying to hold it here at 3 apiece. Hamilton bats now. Hamilton tonight is 0 for 3. A ground out, a pop out, and then he went back to the pitcher, and it resulted in a double play to end the 7th.
It's a changeup from Rivera. Looked like a split.
The 1-0 pitch. Line drive, and that's an out. As Huffman makes the catch. It's a 1-2-3 inning. Rivera needs just 7 pitches to get through the 9th. Long Beach will try to win it when we come back.
Do you like the Pepsi snack?
Well, these were the final moments in Stanford and the end of a 41-year career. Mark Marquis, the head coach of the Cardinal, sees his team lose tonight to Cal State Fullerton. And there is the last time through the handshake line for the coach, as this bracket feeds into the one we're seeing here in Long Beach. So Cal State Fullerton is on to the Super Regional.
Yeah, the Big West has one team, the Supers already. Cal State Fullerton, the only team to qualify for Super Regionals at this point. Classy moment after that. Really classy moment. And when the fans gave Coach Marquis a standing ovation, Cal State Fullerton did the exact same thing. Rick Vanderhook, Mark Marquis have gone head-to-head plenty of times. There's a lot of mutual respect between those two, and clearly between the two programs. It was cool to see at the end, but an incredible career, and congrats to the Titans as they move on. Chase Sugart on right now, and the stuff is very good. Sugart warmed up last night, did not come into the ballgame. 21 walks, 36 in the third. That's the one number that maybe causes you a little bit of concern right there. But in talking to David Pierce earlier this year, he has a high level of trust in Sugart, even though sometimes the control can be an issue.
This is a tough part of the Long Beach order for Sugart to face right away. Romano, Lundqvist, and Banuelos. Lundqvist, of course, with a home run tonight in the on-deck circle. Strike to Romano, who had a base hit and a run scored his last time up. That was in the 7th inning. What a night for Morgan Cooper, the Texas starter. Back-to-back great starts for Texas in this regional. Ground ball off the breaking pitch, hammered to Hamilton, one down. And this is Lundqvist back in the second inning with the solo shot.
First at bat from Brock Lundqvist earlier today. It was the second run of the day for Long Beach State. They got a solo run in the first. Here's another solo run. Home run to right field off the bat of Lundqvist. That was home run number 4 on the year. His 5th would give Long Beach State the win.
One swing away. And you kind of foreshadowed this earlier, but we'll see if it's foreshadowing, if it indeed happens. But you called it. That's how you think this game could end. Four home runs for Lundqvist now. Bottom of the 9th, 1 out, tied at 3.
Hit him.
Well, the winning run is aboard now for the Beach. And Banuelos will come up. You talked about the control. The one thing that scares you a little bit with this young man.
I mean, it's a power breaking, but it's all power stuff. Power fastball, power breakable. But the misses sometimes are big misses. And that was one where he was trying to throw that 0-2 breakable where you probably don't have to that early in the count. Held onto it a little bit too long, and the Dirtbags have a base runner in the 9th.
And Lundqvist, a good base runner. Second on the team in stolen bases, so he's got good speed. Anything to the gap ends this ball game. Banuelos is 0 for 3. A ground out in the second, a fly out in the 4th, and a strikeout swinging in the 7th. Texas from the Big 12, Long Beach out of the Big West. They have given the fans their money's worth tonight. Lundqvist at first. Chase Sugart on the mound now for Texas. Relief of Morgan Cooper. First pitch to Banuelos. Breaks a little bit too late and missed. It's a safe lead, I would say, for Lundqvist. The 1-0. Long Beach State has scored a couple of times by, like you said before, creating chaos on the bases. Will that be the way the winning run scores?
I'd be surprised if they stand pat.
1 out and another throw to first. A little bit closer that time. Lundqvist back in with that right hand. for the Long Beach catcher. Did somebody make a bad play on a foul ball or something?
If they did, they heard about it.
I thought the folks on the West Coast were supposed to be more laid back. They've been on the edge of their seat all night. Into everything too. Every pitch, there's a reaction of some sort. David Banuelos at the plate for Long Beach. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. Tied at 3, bottom of the 9th. Winning runners at first. Brock Lundquist with a lead away from the bag. That got away from home plate.
I don't think he made contact.
And Lundquist is safe at second. It's a strikeout, out number 2.
Two-seam fastball that just had good late movement. Watch the action on this fastball right at the last minute. It's just continuing to go in, and Cantu just missed it. I mean, was trying to frame that one up. At the end, he didn't have to because he got the swing, but goes just off the edge of his glove, and you could see the way he's reacting. He knows it's not a he knows it's not a foul ball. It was not a foul ball. Banuelos didn't get any of it. But Long Beach State able to advance Lundquist to second base with 2 outs.
Pinch runner for Long Beach, Brooks Stotler. Pinch hitter for Long Beach State. Alex Muzzy, a senior, is going to get a chance here with 2 outs now in the 9th. One and one. This was Garrett Nelson's spot in the order. Stotler, who's pinch running at second, he's likely to go into center. And with Lundquist out, they'll have to figure something out in right field should this go to extra innings. Now 1 and 2.
Good breaking ball right there. Slider under the hands. Now 1 and 2 for Sugar.
Check this swing. He asked for the appeal. Scott Wilkerson says he didn't go. Didn't look like from here that he did.
No, I thought that was the right call.
2 balls and 2 strikes to Music. Hit well. Charging and laying out with a great catch is Matheson right. Oh! That grab will send this to extra innings. The crowd thought the game might be over. And Mathis, if he doesn't catch this, it is over.
You got to take a chance at some point defensively. Now's the time to do it. Lay out, and this is a game saver. Mathis out in right field. Sugar's fired up. And it just feels right that we had a play on. Into the night in Long Beach, tied at 3.
Why do some...
To the 10th inning. Second extra inning ball game of the day here in Long Beach. New center fielder for Long Beach. Brooks Stotler stays in the game after pinch running, and Joey Sanchez into the game for the first time. He'll be in right field. Top of the order, Mathis, who made that great catch to end the bottom of the 9th. Gerwitz and Jones, and of course Gerwitz hit the home run to tie this game up at 3 in the 8th inning. The game in front of this one went 13 innings, the longest game of the regional so far. Oh, that was really hammered, but foul. Here's that catch for Mathis, laying out, and it was a little risky.
It's risky, but I mean, this is when you have to take the chance. The ball lands in front of him, it's a game over. Mathis lays out, and he knows it's a game saver. Sugar knows it's a game saver. Keeps us playing into the night.
Mathis in that leadoff spot has home run power. He can put Texas in front. Opposite field, fly ball. Tankus still in left field, makes the catch. This is the home run for Gerwitz in the 8th inning.
And this is why we play on. Slider to Zane Gerwitz. How about this approach? Tie ball game over not one wall but 2. Out into the coolers in left field, and for Gerwitz, home run number 3 on the year, his biggest of the year.
None of the home runs have just snuck out of here tonight. They've all cleared easily. Chris Rivera facing Gerwitz.
Come on, Zane. Here we go, Zane.
Sophomore right-hander. The one-strike pitch induces the pop-up. Points it out to the infielders. It's the shortstop, Huffman, who will call everybody else off for out number 2. And here's a look at our bracket. San Diego State stayed alive with that 13-inning game earlier today against UCLA. There have been 4 extra inning games in the NCAA tournament this year already. There were only 3 that went 12 innings in last year's tournament. We've had 4 go 12 or more this year, including that San Diego State victory over the Bruins earlier today. 13 innings, the longest game of the tournament so far. And we're in extra innings again here tonight. Texas and Long Beach tied at 3. 2 outs, and Travis Jones at the dish.
Come on, T-Chrome. Here we go. Here we go, T-Chrome. Here we go.
Jones with a single in 4 trips. He's been on twice. What'd you think of that breaking ball?
Back-to-back sliders, and he's missed in 2 different spots. So the first missed off the plate. That one kind of backed up on Rivera. In big spots, that's usually the pitch that Rivera will go to, is that slider. Now with a 2-0 count. See if he tries to sneak a fastball over to Jones. Stays with the slider. It looks like he'll stay with the slider.
He does. Jones missed it. It's 2 balls and a strike now. In extra inning ball games this year, neither team has a winning record. Texas doesn't have a win. They're 0-4 in extra inning games. Long Beach 2-3-1.
Nobody's going to add to the and one tonight.
I don't think so. Two and two now. Rivera, the Long Beach State closer, trying to hold this game at 3.
He just got away with one there. I think that was a changeup. I think it was a changeup. He stayed up in the zone, and Jones just missed it because that was in the danger zone.
Popped him up. Short left. Huffman back out there. And Jones is out. Texas done in the 10th. Long Beach will try to win it again when we come back. Now Long Beach State got a base runner to second in the 9th against Chase Sugart of Texas, but couldn't score. Bottom of the 10th now, and it's the bottom part of the Long Beach State order. Luke Rasmussen, the DH, will lead it off. Huffman, Duran scheduled to hit. Ooh, that hit him! Leadoff man is on. It's the second straight inning that Sugart has hit a batter.
Both with breaking balls. He had Lundqvist, a left-hander on the back leg, one that he held on too long. This one he didn't hold on too long enough. Just kind of casted the breaking ball, and there's nowhere for Rasmussen to go. Turns that head, gets out of the way. It looks like it gets clipped his shoulder on the way by. And Long Beach has a leadoff man on here in the 10th.
Lane Huffman at the plate now. Huffman a single. His last time up, he's 1 for 3. Didn't get it down. Rasmussen, I should say, also has stolen 7 bases. You look up and down the lineup, and there are guys that can run.
Absolutely.
Now he's been thrown out 7 times, but they at least on that pitch previously showed that they want to advance him with the sacrifice. Squaring around again here is Huffman. Just 6 hits tonight for Long Beach State. Cantu held on, was very patient, and it rolled foul.
So this doesn't happen that much because it takes a ball that's not moving very hard for it to happen. But the cut of the grass caused this to go foul. If it's a skinned infield, if it's a turf infield, this ball's fair. The base runner standing at second base. But the ball deadened, hardly moving, and it has to hit that cut just right to where it's not moving that hard. And the cut changed the trajectory of the ball, kicked it right enough to move it foul. Cantu saw it, waited for it, touched it the minute it went foul.
And now there's 2 strikes. We'll see if they leave the bunt on for Huffman. Duran had a nice 2-strike sacrifice bunt a couple of innings ago.
I think like Duran, I think you're going to have to hit I think you're going to have to bunt a breaking ball here. 0-2 count from Sugar. I would think you'll see one. He just threw it about 104 over to first.
Yeah, I know it. Deep sigh from Huffman at home plate. Squares again with 2 strikes.
Hit him.
And it
Dead
hit him.
ball is
Yep.
out.
Well, that's the risk you take. It paid off a couple of innings ago, and Duran was able to get that breaking ball down with 2 strikes. But it blows up here on Huffman, and there's 1 out.
I mean, to be fair, it paid off in that it got the runner to second base. But I just...
You're not a fan of this strategy?
No, man. I just think it's too much. I mean, here's the thing. Especially with Huffman coming up at this time. Like, you know he's going to get a first pitch fastball because everybody in the ballpark thinks he's bunting. You give him a chance to go up to a first pitch fastball. Like, see if he can ambush one and get you first and third. And then the inning totally changes. Now, it's easy to second guess it because he ended up striking out, missing 3 bunts. But I don't know. I think it's relied upon too much.
Rasmussen, winning run away from first. That's a strike. Well, the first game today, 3-2 San Diego State over UCLA in 13. We have not seen a lot of runs. We've seen maybe a few more home runs than we thought we'd see, but we haven't seen a lot of runs.
Most that any single team has scored is 6. Besides that, it's 3.
The pitching, the starting pitching, the bullpen has been good for all the teams.
It's what we thought it would be, and it is absolutely held up. And it hasn't been because of the lack of the home run. We've seen home runs. 4 in this game alone. Just all 4 have been solo shots.
Long Beach got a guy to scoring position last inning, couldn't score him. They've got Rasmussen at first, and now it does get away from the first baseman. Clemens has to chase. It'll be Boswell who gets there first. The throw to third. Out. Boswell saves the day again for Texas.
Here's my thing, okay? What you wanted was to have a runner on second base with 1 out. That's the point of the sacrifice bunt, okay? You just got that. You just got that. And turn around and looking the whole way. Rasmussen doesn't run great. He's out by 3 steps. What you wanted, you had. You had him standing at second base with 1 out. It's just not, to me, it's not the time to take. Unless the ball goes all the way down the right field line and you can cartwheel into third base, yes. But that's a rough chance to take.
Well, the base is empty with 2 outs, and there is a base hit.
That's a rougher chance to take and left.
Keep an eye on Duran. Here he goes. He's going to try for 3. They're going to wave him. Here comes the throw. And he is out. Long Beach State keeping their foot on the gas. And in this inning, 2 outs. And now tempers are flaring.
Watch this relay at the end by Reynolds. Now, this is a chance that you cannot take in left field. That ball has to be played in front. Todd misplays it, and Duran can fly. But watch the play by Reynolds. bare hand spin throws. If he gloves that, Durant's safe. Durant is absolutely safe if he gloves it. Instead, the bare hand right here keeps the game going. If he goes to the glove and has to make a transfer, Durant's too fast. That is incredible presence of mind by the freshman right there to make the throw. I think the tag got down. I think he's out. And we will play on.
A triple with a 7-5-2 relay play to get Durant at the plate. And then some words exchanged between him and Sugart.
It's the way these are supposed to go, man. Bang, bang all over the place. I thought the tag got the helmet before the hand got in.
Yeah, but now the base running decision by Rasmussen to try to take third looks huge now, because that gets past Todd and the ball game is over.
Absolutely. I didn't understand the chance at that point. I did not understand the chance. Got no problem with this. This guy's going toe to toe. That's what's going to happen. But I thought he got the tag down on the helmet before the hand got in. I mean, it was bang bang, but we've seen a little bit of everything in this one. And I don't mind taking this chance. I mean, Durant's the fastest guy in the field. So to me, this was the time to take the chance. I think he tagged him on the helmet right before the left hand got in. I think he's out. But the relay, to me, the relay is the play. If Reynolds gloves it, this game is over, because he does not have enough time to make that transfer turn to make the throw. The only chance he had was to barehand it in one motion turn and make a throw, and it had to be a good throw and give Cantu a chance to get that tag down.
Let's see it one more time.
I mean, watch this. This is a freshman. It's a freshman, and I think they overthrow the first cut. I mean, watch where the throw from Todd goes. That's desperation. He airmails the first cut. Then Reynolds has to take it on one hop, spin and throw in one motion. He got the helmet. You could see the head move that time. If the head moves and he got the helmet, he is absolutely out. Perry Costello was there to make the call. I think it was the right one.
So we roll on to the 11th inning. This is something else. Casey Clemens.
His scorecard is a disaster at this point.
Casey Clemens is at the plate for Texas. But again, it was the chaos that inning that Long Beach put on Texas that forced the Horns to make some exceptional plays.
I have no issues with trying to score with Durant. None at all, because it took a perfect second throw to throw him out. But trying to go first to third on the pickoff that went down the right field line was the wrong decision. Even if the ball gets thrown away, he ends up scoring. Game over. I get it. It was the wrong decision. You had what you wanted, a guy standing on second base with one out.
I think that Bergeron had made up his mind that even before Durant got to first base, you know, and the ball had skipped past, that he was going to wave him if there was a chance. I think he was going to try to score him.
And I think it's the right chance to take there. I mean, he is the fastest guy on the field. Durant can absolutely fly. And like we saw, it took two perfect, well, actually one perfect throw. The first one wasn't perfect. He airmailed the first cutoff man, which at the end of the day may have actually saved the play, because that's a much tougher throw from shallow left field to try to throw Durant out.
This is uncharted territory for another closer. We saw this in the San Diego State win earlier today. C.J. Saylor, the closer for San Diego State, had to go an extended amount of time. Now Rivera, you can see his pitch count still relatively low, but they're asking a closer who's used to one, maybe two innings, to do a little more work here now.
Well, and Saylor got through it. But what happens with a closer is the longer you go, the stuff is not as sharp as they're used to. Now, the pitch count isn't bad yet. It's 22 pitches, but this is the third inning of work. I think the one thing to watch, Rivera has recorded 6 outs. All 6 have been in the air. So Texas has been putting some pretty good swings on it.
Well, we know Clemens can ride one out of here. He did yesterday against UCLA. Yeah, all flyouts. Full count.
Yep.
Struck him out. Clemens goes down looking. He struck out 3 times last night. First time here tonight for Clemens.
Slider just kind of froze him, and I think Clemens was looking for something else, but Rivera really relies on that slider. This one, a backdoor slider, just hangs on the outside part of the plate, and that one actually absolutely caught enough of the plate. So first strikeout for Rivera, but he's retired all 7 he's faced.
Austin Todd. Tries to bunt his way on. Popped it up to Banuelos. That's a gift for Long Beach State. As Todd is an easy out. 2 down now here in the Texas 11th. And it brings up Boswell. We'll remind you what he has done here tonight. He's 2 for 4 with 2 solo shots.
To different parts of the ballpark. Fastball early in the ball game. That was Boswell's first at bat. Then later on he would hit one to right. Home runs 6 and 7 for Brett Boswell today. His last at bat, left on left, struck out.
Yeah, that was against Zach Bayoun. Got the last out of the 8th inning when Texas had 2 on. Just 1 out. They only got that one on the home run by Gerwitz. Boswell loves hitting in California. He was the MVP of the California Summer League last year. He loves this California air. And it's 1-1 now to the Texas native. Junior from Rockwall. You know, the other thing is Boswell is the one who threw out the runner at third.
Yeah.
He threw out Rasmussen with a perfect throw. That changed the course of that inning. He's already our Capital One MVP before that. But add that to the list. Wrap to the shortstop. Huffman throws him out. It's a 1-2-3 inning for Rivera. Long Beach State will try again in the bottom of the 11th, tied at 3. All right. 10th inning, this is what happens. Sugar spikes it in the ground on the throw over to first, but Texas gets the out. Rasmussen thrown out by Boswell, who tracked it down. Then the mistake by Todd out in left field, but it doesn't hurt him. Jaron Duran, who tried to score, is thrown out at the plate. It was close, bang, bang, but it stays 3-3.
Depending on what happens this year with Texas, they're going to look back on that play by the freshman Ryan Reynolds at third base defensively, barehanding that ball, getting it to Cantu. The tag was there, and he was out. He got him on the head before that hand got in there. That could be looked at as a defensive player of the year by Reynolds if Texas can come back and win this ball game. But now Bo Ridgway on.
Ridgway pitched last night for Texas.
The Texas closer. Not taking any chances right now for the Longhorns. We saw Long Beach State do this 3 innings ago with their closer, Chris Rivera.
Two strikes to Daniel Jackson. Ridgway, 1 1/3 yesterday, gave up 1 run, 1 hit, 1 walk, struck out 2 against UCLA.
Hey, say, Bo, here you go, Bo.
He's given his 12th save outside 1 and 2.
Come on, Bo, here you go, Bo.
There's a new left fielder, too, for Texas. Austin Todd, who misplayed that ball last inning, out of the game. Tate Shaw is out there now, and it's 2 and 2. That's Shaw. Called strike 3. Jackson goes down looking.
Wow. Now, I don't know if this was low or made to look lower because Cantu did a really poor job of catching it, but we'll watch the action of Cantu on this pitch. You don't see a catcher catch a ball like that and see a call to strike very often. Now, late movement might have forced him to turn that glove over. Ultimately, it doesn't matter how the catcher catches it. It ought to be where the pitch is. It was close, but Cantu made it look a lot worse than I think it was.
1 out for Tankus. Yeah. Well, what David Pierce told us about Cantu is, you know, McCann is probably the better defensive catcher. But Cantu's been involved in some pretty big plays here tonight, too.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think he's been fine defensively. That was one that I think he got away with.
(2-0) down the line, but foul. Well, Tankus spanked it. A bid for his first hit here tonight, but it's 2-1. The hits are even at 7 apiece. The runs are even at 3. There are 3 Texas errors on the board, and the errors really haven't hurt Texas. Tankus is out, 2 away.
Well, I mean, it did lead to an unearned run. Romano reached on an error, and then a later error by the catcher on the throw led to 1 unearned run. But we see where we're at right now on why this one means so much. This is the biggest advantage in a regional if you can go 2-0. Then you sit and wait tomorrow. The other 2 play, they burn a bunch of arms, and the winner of this plays a late game tomorrow. The loser will come back at 4 Eastern, play the Aztecs. San Diego State would love to see this game go about another 12.
Yeah, they're recovering from their 13-inning marathon from earlier today. Ball and a strike. Ridgway has gotten 2 quick outs here in the 11th. Third pitcher for Texas tonight. And that should end the inning. A 1-2-3 11th inning. We head to the 12th, tied at 3 in Long Beach. This one goes to the 12th in Long Beach between Texas and Long Beach State. Let's go back to earlier today. 9th inning, San Diego State and UCLA. It's a pop-up in foul ground. C.J. Saylor, the closer for the Aztecs, went 4 2/3 in this one. And the winning run was scored thanks to a hit batsman. And San Diego State survives. UCLA is done for the year, but the effort again by the closer, C.J. Saylor, one of the 4 pitchers used by the Aztecs. He was outside of his comfort zone, but you know, he got it done. He made it work.
He did. Look at that bullpen as a whole. 8 2/3, 4 hits, 1 run. That's the difference for San Diego State. They held down the fort, ultimately would push run across on a bases loaded hit by pitch and stay alive.
Reyes was great too. 3 1/3 for him. So they're waiting to see who they play. They'll be facing a tired team from this game as we go to the 12th inning. The loser will get San Diego State. This is the first time that either of these teams have gone into the 12th. Again, Texas hasn't won an extra inning game yet this year. They're 0-4. Chris Rivera, the closer, continues to pitch and pitch well. 1-1.
Good slider. One thing Texas has done, though, is they've allowed Rivera to be really efficient. I mean, 3 innings and now 2 pitches into Rivera's 4th inning. He's only thrown 29 pitches. This is the 10th hitter he's faced.
The 1-1 to Reynolds.
Good
Off
take.
the plate. 2-1. Average is down to 218 now for Reynolds. But he could give Texas the lead. He's got that capability. Three and 1, and on deck, Michael Cantu. You know, there haven't been too many people who've left.
I don't blame him.
It's 11 o'clock now here on the Pacific Coast. Three 1 the count.
Good take.
And Texas is in business here in the 12th. The leadoff man is aboard. The go-ahead run on Cantu coming up. First base runner against Chris Rivera for the Longhorns.
Well, if Cantu hits here, which it looks like he's going to, I don't think he's bunting. He does have 1 sack bunt this year, but McCann's seen as a better defensive catcher. If you're going to ask Cantu to bunt, probably put somebody else in there to do it. Have Cantu go in and catch. If he's going up there right now, I think he's going in there to swing. Which makes sense because now Rivera in his 4th inning, you would think that the stuff starting to get a little bit depleted.
He does show bunt. Cantu 6 home runs on the year.
Here we go, Big Mike. Here we go. Good angle, Mike.
Had a great Big 12 tournament. 5 for 10 there. Shows bunt again.
Good boy, Mike. Good boy.
Was there anything you did as a pitcher when you knew bunt was coming? Did you change?
I want to throw it up in the zone usually. I mean, I wanted to give myself a better chance to get a pop-up. So, I mean, generally fastballs up in the zone. And there were times I threw it right at a guy if I really knew he was going to bunt. Because if you square all the way around, the pitch right at you, usually the move is to try to jab at it and defend yourself.
Good boy, Ryan. Good boy.
I'd be really inclined have him show again and let him swing. And Sean Allen's going to talk to him right now. And I wonder if that's part of the discussion because the defense that Long Beach showed just a minute ago, by the time that pitch came in, Ramsey Romano at third base, Andrew Jackson at first were about 50 feet away from home plate. That's a big dude. If he gets barrel onto it, you're not making a play 50 feet away from home plate.
Cantu back in the box after the discussion with Allen. 1 ball, no strikes, nobody out. Reynolds away from first. Rivera sets. The bunt's still on. Strike, 1-1. Was the bunt still on? Because that was a pitch good enough he could have put bat on ball.
It could be taken, but I mean, just based on Rivera's control numbers, I understand the pitch count's getting up there a little bit tonight, but he's a guy that usually throws a ton of strikes, and he has tonight. I mean, aside from the walk to Reynolds in this inning, he had set down the first 9 that he faced.
Good work, Ryan. Good work. Good work, Ryan.
Top of the 12th, tied at 3. Reynolds there at first. The pitch. Line to left, base hit. Cantu delivers, 2 on, nobody out for the Horns.
Here's my thing with this play, and this is why I like the slash. I think it simplifies a swing for a hitter when they're at home plate. Because so often guys are trying to do too much in a situation like this. When you put a slash on, it shortens the swing. Watch this. Cantu brings it back, and then it's always going to be a really short path to the baseball. So it's a lot easier for me to stay on pitches. You're not trying to hit the ball out of the ballpark. All you're trying to do is hit it somewhere with authority. Cantu did it right there. I like that play. Defense comes in. There's a better chance for you to do something that they can't make a play, and that time Cantu hit it right on the button to left.
And here's something we haven't seen in the tournament yet. It's Troy Buckley making a trip to the mound himself. Look at this. 2 games today here in Long Beach. 24 plus.
We've passed
9
the 9
hours,
mark.
1 minute.
Might be out working the professor and Matty Ice today.
I think so.
What do you think?
Well, I know for a fact you and I showed up to the ballpark before 11 a.m. this morning.
Hey,
it's now 11 p.m.
The professor's still texting too.
Yeah. Well, he texts and twitters in his sleep.
Oh, he does? Well.
Rooney is going at it. I'd set my phone down. I hadn't looked in a while, and yeah, there he goes.
He's shaving his head. He's got a big day tomorrow. He's got to make sure. He's got to make sure he's got the right lick ready to go.
Well, this is interesting now. It's first and second, pinch runner for Cantu, and that's Tyler Rand at first base with Hamilton at the plate. Go ahead run in Reynolds at second. Now Hamilton squares. And he takes. 1 ball and no strikes. David Hamilton 0 for 4, including a double play ball. Top of the order on deck. Good bunt. Will they go to third? No. To first.
Holy moly.
Bang, bang play, but they got him. Hamilton is out, and by a half step. But Hamilton gets the job done. Second and third now, and just 1 out for Texas.
Look at him get down the line. Forget a sack bunt. Hamilton gets it down right here, and he is moving down to first.
And did you think, like I did, for just maybe a 1/10 of a second, that Rivera was going to wheel and go to third?
It wasn't just you and me. It was him, too. The first move
sure
by
like
Rivera, when he came in, looked like he was looking to go to third base. That little hesitation, or maybe the little thought in his mind, was almost enough for Hamilton to beat that ball out.
And I think he made the right decision to go to first. I don't think he'd had a chance at third. Now they're going to intentionally walk Mathis to load the bases, which would bring up Gerwitz, who has a home run tonight, with the bases loaded. You know, I've talked to a few coaches throughout the season about these intentional walks and how nervous they make coaches. Because, you know, in a lot of the amateur leagues, KP, you can just send a guy to first base. You don't have to pitch the 4 pitches.
Here's my thing, okay? We talk about speeding the game up. How often do you see intentional walks? You don't see it very often, right?
Right.
This should be 4 pitches. There's other ways that we can speed the game up.
Just put him on first.
No, I disagree.
You do?
I absolutely disagree. I think you have to throw the baseball 4 times to home plate. We can speed the game up in other ways, but I think that changes the game. How many times you seen a ball go to the backstop and change the course of a game? You should, I mean, it should be simple, but you should have to execute that.
Well, here we go. Bases loaded for Gerwitz. And remember, he's the reason we're in extra innings. It was his solo shot in the top of the 8th that tied it at 3.
That doesn't look like a swing or how far the ball went for a guy that has 3 home runs this year. Gerwitz missed some time because of the hamstring. Hasn't been 100% the whole year, but now he's got a chance to give the Longhorns their first lead of the night.
Bases loaded with Horns. Gerwitz swings, pops it up. Stotler in center. Tagging at third. Reynolds. But he'll stay there. 2 down.
Oh, it looked like he got one he could handle. One thing to watch here, Jones has been aggressive on first pitches. The hit that he had tonight, the single to right, was on a first pitch fastball.
This has been a glorious opportunity in the 12th for Texas to take the lead. Can they get something in? They've left 6 on tonight. 4 in scoring position. They got 2 in scoring position now in this 3-3 game. First pitch to Jones. Strike 1. Texas with runners in scoring position, 0 for 5. Long Beach hasn't been much better. Slider misses down and away, 1-1. How about these fans? Who says the West Coast fans are laid back? This is terrific. Ryan Reynolds represents the go-ahead run. He's over at third. Bases loaded. Travis Jones calls time and he gets it.
I think if you're Jones here, you've got to sit Slider. Most of the big times during the course of this night when Rivera needed to make a pitch, he threw the slider. And if you're going to sell out on anything right now, I think you got to sell out on that one.
Line drive to left, sinking, base hit. Reynolds scores. Rand coming around. He will score. A 2-run base knock for Travis Jones. And Texas for the first time, has the lead.
It was either a slider or a changeup, but it was something that just kind of hung up in the hitting zone and was in a spot that Jones could get to it. It was a slider, stayed over the plate. Banuelos wanted it away, was down towards the bottom of the zone, but it was over the middle of the plate. It really gave Jones a chance, and he got just enough of it out to left field. 2 out RBIs, 2 of them for the Longhorns, and they take the lead 5-3.
And now Casey Clemens with ducks on the pond. .32 runs batted in on the year now for Travis Jones, and those 2 undoubtedly the biggest of the season for him and for these Texas Longhorns as they go in front 5-3 here in the 12th. Clemens struck out looking his last time up against Rivera. Goes for the downs here and comes up empty, 1-1. Now the bullpen for Long Beach, pretty good. But finally Texas gets to Rivera.
Inning 4 against the closer.
It took a while to finally wear him down. You know, and the way this thing has gone, the way the whole day has gone, you know, Texas probably needs another run just to feel good about this. 2 might not be enough the way Long Beach plays.
Yeah, I mean, you'd feel more comfortable if you added a few more, but if you're Texas, you feel a lot better looking up there right now, seeing it 5-3.
And again, this is the first time that Texas has had the lead, but I wouldn't count Long Beach out. Strike in the outside corner, so now it's even at 2 to Clemens. How's Roger doing? We haven't checked in on him in a while. Where are his nerves?
Let him be. He's just trying to watch his kid.
He's always got that calm, cool demeanor. I bet he's more nervous now than he was as a player, watching his kids play.
I bet he's enjoying it.
2-2. Struck him out. So Clemens goes down again. That ends the 12th for Texas. But a big 2-run single by Travis Jones and the Longhorns for the first time tonight playing with the lead. Can Long Beach come back in the bottom of the inning? We'll find out. San Diego State will take on the loser tomorrow, 4 Eastern. The winner will be 2-0 and in the regional final Sunday at 10 Eastern. It is now Texas in front 5-3 as Long Beach bats in the 12th. Fly ball. And Stotler is out number 1. It'll bring up Banuelos now. Hitless tonight. He's 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts. You know, Long Beach just needs a base runner because once they do that, it changes the complexion of everything.
A little jumpy right there, too. First pitch of the inning, 1 pitch, 1 out. It gives Ridgway a little bit more adrenaline out there.
Chance to be the winning pitcher here tonight for Texas. One and one.
Here we go, Bo. Here we go. Oh.
It's way outside. Sanchez is on deck for Long Beach. He has not hit yet tonight. Now 2-2.
The two-seamer from Ridgeway is working tonight. Two two-seam fastballs Banuelos has seen in this at bat. Started over the middle of the plate. Ended up almost hitting him on the hands.
Now Calaccio is in the on-deck circle. Fouled off. There's Calaccio. He made an appearance in last night's ball game. Long Beach has a base runner. Look out, here come the Dirtbags in the 12th. First hit for Banuelos tonight. Third hit of the tournament. And the tying run will come up. And it will be Calaccio. Nope, check that. Jeff Nellis is going to hit.
Jeff Nellis has 2 at-bats all year. He doesn't have a hit. Must be playing a hunch here.
He went up there to take his cuts. 1 strike.
I mean, you may be just rolling the dice here and seeing that guy that might have a little bit more pop than the others on your bench can run into one and make it a tie ball game again. But at this point, probably going to have to do it against a breaking ball.
He has the fewest at bats of anybody on the roster.
Oh, fastball.
Are these hunches sometimes picked up on in batting practice?
This one I don't know.
Gets away from the catcher. Michael McCann, who just came in defensively this inning behind home plate, let that one get away. Banuelos goes to second.
The guy that matters is standing at home plate. And ideally, you'd like the base runner standing on first in Banuelos because you get a double play in order. But at the end of the day, the guy that matters is standing at home plate.
Two on to Nellis. Hit a ton, but foul.
There's your hunch.
That cleared
There's
the
your
trees
hunch.
in left.
That's the only way you do this. That's the only reason you do this. Is you've got a guy that can hit it to the golf course and you're hoping he runs into one. Now, why he has 2 at-bats this year, I'm not entirely sure. But the only reason you put a guy in that has those kind of stats is because he has the physical ability to do that. He was just a tick earlier. This ball game's tied.
He was doing the Carlton Fisk thing, too, as he went up the first baseline. The 2-2 pitch. Hits it well again down the line, but foul. Well, he's got Ridgway timed, that's for sure.
You got to throw him a breaking ball. You got to throw him a breaking ball. You got it. I mean, 2 at-bats over the course of the year, and he just turned a fastball around. Ridgway buries a breaking ball. He's going to strike him out.
Fastball at the knees, got him looking. I think Nellis might have been thinking that it was going to be a breaking ball, and the fastball surprised him.
That's pretty well executed. I mean, it's borderline. It's at the bottom part of the strike zone, but that was a well executed fastball by Ridgway to stay out on the outside part of the plate. I mean, if it's down, it might be down by much, but it's really, really close. You got to be protected on that one. Ridgway needed to execute, dotted a fastball in a perfect spot.
Now, Hodges has been calling that strike all night, so it's the out there, and now Rasmussen representing the last chance here for Long Beach. Down 2, 2 outs, bottom of the 12th. He's 0 for 3. Hit by a pitch his last time up. And now they're down to their last strike. Ground ball to the right side. Oh, what a play by Boswell. He's been the hero all night. And that does it. Texas is 2-0 here in Long Beach. And the Dirtbags will have to play tomorrow against San Diego State to continue their season. There is the hero offensively, Travis Jones. The 2-run single in the top of the 12th.
Hey, man, that's a long day. We saw 2 beauties. I mean, those were, we saw everything over the course of one day in baseball that I think you could possibly draw up. This was the difference. Travis Jones comes up in the 9th. In the single to left field, drops in front of the left fielder Tankis. No chance he can throw anybody out at home plate. Texas scores 2. The first lead of the ball game for Texas was in extra innings. They hold on and will face the winner of Long Beach State, San Diego State tomorrow in a late game.
25 total innings.
Yeah.
Now, granted, San Diego State has had more time to recover before tomorrow's 4 Eastern time game, but they're going to both be somewhat tired, having long days here on this Saturday.
Depleted bullpens, too.
Depleted bullpens, too.
Texas
coming up
waits.
next. World of X games. Our next game tomorrow, 4 Eastern, San Diego State and Long Beach. It's an elimination game. For Kyle Peterson, I'm Clay Matvick. For our entire crew, we hope you enjoyed these 2 terrific extra inning ball games. Texas 5-3-12